Hello everyone, this is Globku from Magical Noob, and recently we've had a Game of the Year discussion live on the TGN channel. So for those of you who don't know, I live stream very often on the TGN's Twitch channel, and I thought it would be fun to bring the team together for a discussion, and that's what this video is. The discussion took about 6 hours total, and I've managed to cut the video down to 3 hours. I'm pretty proud of myself. I know it's still a long video for YouTube, but, you know, I put out one of these every year. And if you're not interested in the discussion, you can always just skip towards the end. But you'll be missing why those are the top 10 games on our list. So yeah, this is the whole discussion. I will include time links in the description for an easier navigation. And if you want, you can also minimize the video because it also works as a podcast. And without further ado, here is the discussion.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to TGN's live team Game of the Year 2014. I'm Globku, your host from Magical Noob, and I guess let's go from left to right. Joining us today is Piff. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm here to talk about video games and end of the year and Christmas.
That's the point. That's the plan, for sure. Squee.
Hi.
Welcome to the show.
I'm doing good. I'm here to talk about styrofoam.
What?
Yeah, he is. Hengist.
Yeah.
Okay, Freitas. How you doing?
Hey I'm here to deliver some Christmas presents.
Wow. You heard that? We're doing giveaways, apparently. So let's start with the one on the bottom, for example. World of Warcraft, Warlords of Draenor. So this was definitely the best expansion Warcraft has had in the past few years. Should we be considering this for Game of the Year based on the fact that it is an expansion and not a new game per se? What do you guys think about that?
How much content now? See, I'm not a World of Warcraft guy, and I couldn't play that if I had a gun to my head. That said, does it add enough content to count as a standalone game? In other words, if you were to pay the full price of a game for this game, would you feel like you got your money's worth?
There's definitely enough playtime in that thing to justify a full price, and it's not full price. I think it's $30.
Okay,
for the expansion.
then I mean, yeah, I'm a firm believer that really the separation between DLC and game status is just how much is there.
So we are considering this for Game of the Year, despite the fact that it is an expansion. I think the consensus here, except for Freitas, I don't know if their arguments make sense to you.
Yeah, of course they make sense. I can understand their point of view.
Yeah. So you're okay with considering it based on those arguments?
Yeah.
Okay. So World of Warcraft, Warlords of Draenor stays in for now, because I think we have another one to discuss, and that is The Binding of Isaac Rebirth. It is branded as a remake of the original Binding of Isaac, but that thing has so much new content that I'm not sure that we should treat it as a remake or a brand new game. But what do you guys think about that? Do you think The Binding of Isaac Rebirth should have a place in the top 10 or should be up for consideration for the top 10 list of 2014, or it had its chance back when was it? Binding of Isaac came out in 2012? 11? Okay. So it had its chance on 11, shouldn't have its chance now, or it should come back to the table for discussion. What do you guys think?
Alright, I'll take the first reins on this. I think it really should be on this list, mainly because the amount of effort put into making a completely new engine from the ground up for specifically this game. It wasn't just kind of a slap-on at all. It was basically they made a new game. It plays almost exactly the same. There's a few tweaks here and there. Of course, the abundant amount of different things where, like, even its last expansion kind of pales in comparison to what they added to this thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think the effort alone would probably count as a completely new game.
They could have fooled me, if I'm being honest. Like, if they branded this as a new Binding of Isaac game, they could have fooled me.
Yep.
Okay. We're considering the Binding of Isaac for this list. Very well. Yeah. That said, I think we're clear on every game here, and they're all available for discussion. So here's how we're gonna do this. We've been reading chat. Ultimately, we're the ones who decide which games get knocked out and which games get to stay in. But if you guys have any good arguments, we will totally use it as weapons to throw against each other. Like we'll defend the games you like if we agree with you. We'll criticize the games we don't like if we also agree with you. So yeah, your opinion on chat is really important to us. Who wants to do the honors and suggest a game that we should remove off this list?
Let's go with a few probably easy ones. Let's go with the World of Warcraft expansion, because I think we already discussed that we might just throw it off the list anyway.
Yeah, we can remove that.
No one's gonna fight for that, right?
No.
I don't think so.
Yeah, like I said, best World of Warcraft expansion in a while, but still not enough
of the year?
to interest us. Yeah, not Game of the Year for sure. Fkaitas, you want to do the next one?
Okay, so we eliminated this. I'm gonna probably eliminate the Vanishing of Ethan Carter.
Okay, let's talk about Ethan Carter for a while.
Yeah.
Is there enough to really talk about, though?
Yes. There's at least a few lines of sentences we could say about this.
Yeah. I mean,
It is gorgeous. It is
it is
beautiful.
gorgeous. It is. And I enjoyed the story from the beginning till the end. I've played it, but still doesn't feel like Game of the Year material for me. You know, it was an alright game. That's it. I wouldn't play it again.
I have something against walking simulators. You know, I feel like there's a better way to tell a story than just walking around and pressing the mouse button on stuff. It has a couple of puzzles, interesting ones too. It was enjoyable for a while, especially, but I think it's mainly because of the environments. I think mainly because the game is so gorgeous that you just want to keep exploring the thing. I don't think there's a lot to do in the world, though.
Yeah, I felt it was much less a game and more a tech demo than anything. That's what it reminded me of when people bring a new game engine to E3 or something. That's kind of what. Ooh, look how pretty it is.
Yeah.
Right? Is there anything to do?
So
not
it's a tech demo with a story attached.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Okay, so that goes off the list. Very well.
Well, hang on. Give me a second. Honestly, I think Banner Saga.
The Banner Saga.
I like Banner Saga.
I won't fight you on that.
It should be on the top 10.
Yeah. I won't fight you at all on that.
I won't fight you. I love the game, but I won't fight you.
Yeah.
It's cool.
It was good. It was a good idea, and it has room to grow. It's just not top 10 yet.
I would like to agree. Yeah. Biff?
Yeah. I've seen quite a bit of it, and I'm still kind of going like, I'm not quite sure if I'm all about this gameplay, actually. There's been a lot of people who have gotten really frustrated with the game and just stopped playing. Like, that's almost every single time I've seen Banner Saga is that sort of reaction.
Yeah, the game punishes you a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like the thing that I see in every single gameplay is they go so far, they stop playing because they get frustrated.
I love that so far Chad is agreeing with us on everything.
Yep.
So we're not fighting Chad yet. That's good. The time will come. Don't worry. Okay. I can kick off the next one. Yeah, let's just take care of Call of Duty right now. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare.
Same here. Mine, I haven't played it. I've seen some of it, and it does look like the best Call of Duty for a while. I want to take it off the list, but okay. Here's the part of me that's fighting. What games does Squee like, and what games does Squee think deserves to be on there? I don't really particularly like Call of Duties. I'd never personally place it in one of my top 10 lists, but do I think it deserves to be in a top 10 position? What are we judged by? You know what? I'm going to have to ask this right now. What are we judging by? Are we judging by success? Are we judging by what we personally feel was a good game? What are we going by?
Yeah, more of a personal feeling.
More personal feeling.
Then throw it off.
The quote from I've been getting a lot from just a single person who's played a lot of these games, and I got a quote from him. No, I really don't like it.
I really liked Call of Duty, to be honest. I think the movement stuff added a lot to the game, even though it kind of felt like, they looked at Titanfall and did some of the stuff Titanfall did.
Yeah, they totally ripped off Titanfall.
I think they've been working on the game for a long time, and it was just They were already working on it probably by the time Titanfall came out.
It's a solid multiplayer first-person shooter game that console players can really dig their teeth into, and some PC players, of course.
Terrorist attacks.
This
and,
guy killed me through the smoke. This guy had no chance of seeing me. Like, look, there's smoke, and he killed me through the smoke. Like, fuck you. That's not a thing.
Try harder.
So yeah,
So,
Should be ducking, lying prone.
the whole time. That's the thing about this Call of Duty, because of the way you move. If you're standing still, you're dead. It's really important that you keep moving. But none of us think it's a game of the year material, right?
no.
All right.
Not really.
Is it back to me?
Which one did you say? Titanfall? Nidhogg? Okay.
F
Why?
Nidhogg.
Why? What's wrong with it?
I will tell you, it is a very simplistic game. It should be fine when two people play against each other. It's just a game it's not really excellent anyway. Wouldn't really put it on the top 10. But here's the thing that really got me. It is $15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got
yeah,
my
but
money's
I-
worth out of that game 10 times over. I've played it so much.
Yeah, I think Nidhogg certainly deserves to be there. If nothing else, because it's unique, it's fresh, it works, and while you say it's simplistic, I say it's very deep.
Yeah, it is.
Simplistic, yeah, but one of those games easy to learn, hard to master.
Yeah,
I
it
like
is, indeed.
Yeah.
I would probably... Alright. The only reason why I would actually consider this, like, off the list is because Lethal League is on this list. And I personally like Lethal League a lot more than this.
Well, I agree
That's
with
fair.
that.
I can also
I
agree.
do agree with that. I just think that both of them could be on the list.
On the top
to-
10?
Yeah.
On the top 10, whoa.
Okay.
I don't know if it will
love-
make it to top 10.
There
I
will
am
be
not
only one.
comfortable with getting rid of
games
Nidhogg
that
right
are
now.
unique and interesting and break the mold, and those two games certainly do that, and they do it well.
I don't know if it's gonna make it to top 10. I'm not comfortable with removing it just yet.
Okay.
Well, hang on. If you're not confident it's going to make it to the top 10, then why are you uncomfortable removing it? I mean, right? Isn't that what we're asking? We're trying to narrow this down to the top 10. I'm not going to fight for anything I don't think should be on the top 10.
I know. I think this should be, but I might change my mind once we get a smaller list. You know, because I don't think we should be really strict with our lists. We should be accepting others' feedback.
I honestly am fine.
I
am
think
honestly
Nidhogg
fine with
would be-
dropping it because while I love the game, I think I could find 10 games I like better.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. This year's been pretty weak.
no, that's not true. My main problem with this is that this game has no single player component. You know, it's
Does. I'm playing single player right now.
yeah, but
It's a challenge mode. It's yeah,
like-
defeat all of these guys.
practice mode. I mean, it doesn't really
yeah.
add something to the game. You know.
But I mean, the thing is, I don't
Did
think that
you
should
want-
be counted against it because the game knows what it is.
Yeah.
It's a multiplayer game, and it uses a single player as a giant tutorial. I don't see that as a bad thing.
Did you want a narrative experience? I'm not sure what you're going
I
for
would
here.
like a bigger challenge and maybe a little backstory on the game. You know, I mean, what is Nidhogg and why?
It's a
why
Norse.
does he hit people?
Norse,
No.
Norse mythical creature. Yeah, it's a real thing. It's a real
is
historic
that-
character.
It's a real thing.
Yeah.
Is that a fair thing to ask of a game that was intended, designed, and always from the beginning supposed to be a versus game? I mean, that's like saying, I'm going to say Tekken's a bad game because their stories always suck. I mean, Tekken's not there for story, neither is Nidhogg. Nidhogg is there for versus gameplay. That's what it was designed for.
I think that's a fair argument.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's like you said before. You were quoting games on personal experience, and that kind of turned me off on this game.
I understand that.
Oh boy. Okay.
Okay.
Let's put this one on hold for now.
Okay.
Alright.
I don't know. I'm not ready to get rid of Nidhogg just yet.
Okay. We should talk about Elite Dangerous. You know,
We should talk about Elite Dangerous.
because it's on the list, but I
It
believe
came out
not-
this Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's very hard for people to review a game.
Right now, so I believe on that note, I think we should drop it. right now.
Because we don't have enough information about the game?
Yeah.
I'm for
pretty
that.
much
I
agree.
love Elite Dangerous, but yeah, there's no way to know.
No, not enough time to review it yet.
Yeah.
There are 400 billion solar systems. There's a very good chance that most of those solar systems are boring because it's all procedurally generated based on real scientific models. And guess what? The universe is full of empty space and boringness.
Yeah.
So I don't know how well Elite Dangerous will deal with that.
I played the beta a lot, and it was a fun diversion. But to be honest, the ship designs were absolutely atrocious. The immersion was amazing, and I say that will carry you a long way. Just docking and landing on a station was amazing. It was great, but like you said, space is huge, but kind of empty. And yeah.
So it might turn out to be a great game. We just have no way of knowing it today. Titanfall.
Shh, oh my god. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, I thought so.
Just building tension, you know.
Yeah, great.
I have this. As long as Team Fortress 2 is out, I don't see most first-person shooters topping that. It's a free game that has such well-built characters and it has so much gameplay to it. It's ridiculous.
It's totally different focus, I'd say. One thing I really like about Titanfall is, let's go again to the argument that I made with Call of Duty, is the mobility stuff. The jetpack, wall running, all of that felt amazing, and it gave you a kind of freedom that if you play other first-person shooters, you miss that. It's like it feels natural to you after playing for a couple of hours, and if you go to something else, like, I can't do this thing here. It's like when you were playing, I don't know, Doom, and you weren't able to jump, and now you are. When you aren't able to jump, you kind of miss that, you know? That feeling of, this game doesn't have jump, you know?
Right.
I think Titanfall does a very good job of making all of its movement feel very natural to the player, and something that I think other first-person shooters now have to consider all the time.
For me, I think it's, although not game of the year for me, I can find a lot of games that I enjoyed better than this. I think this was probably the most surprising game of this year, for me.
If we're moving Call of Duty, we're moving this.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't
Fair
think
enough.
that's great. I like Titanfall more than Call of Duty personally.
I have not played either one of them. From just a person looking at both of the games,
Mhm.
I could not see any difference. Too much difference between a lot of people doing the run and gun style. There's just a lot of that going on in both games, and there's really, like, that's if I could switch these two gameplays around, like, of Titanfall and Call of Duty.
You can tell
and
the difference?
if I caught it just right,
Uh-huh.
you wouldn't be able to tell the
No
difference.
one would know this, yeah.
People are going to be really surprised with this one. I say Destiny needs to go.
Okay.
Yes!
Yes!
And it's not going to be for the reason you think. I love Destiny as a game. Yes, it had serious problems. It didn't have a story.
I thought we were fighting on this.
Etc. Etc.
I'm so happy.
Well, the thing is, I still think it's an incredibly fun game. But here's why. And here's why I don't think it deserves to be on the top 10 list.
Uh-huh.
Screw you if you charge me $20 for 3 missions, a strike, and maybe a vault that 10 people will
You're
ever
pissed
play.
at the black cocaine? The dark glow? Is that what
Yes.
you're pissed about?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm pissed
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they charge $20 for 2 hours of content. That's ridiculous. I think that deserves to be pointed out how ridiculous that is, and I think that deserves to throw the game off the top 10 list.
That's a big argument there. I'm not gonna fight it. For me, that's it. To explain,
Yeah.
I love playing the game.
I was kind of going like, is there enough room to, like, slide this into, like, the 10th spot? Because it was, like, really enjoyable in majority of the games here. Well, actually, no, I could probably fit 10. Yeah, just screw it, whatever.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, the thing is, I would, if it wasn't for that DLC, I would fight for it, because even with all its problems, the lack of story and all that, it is hella fun to play. It really is. The game mechanics are are untouchable to anything else on this list. The game mechanics are untouchable. But when you show a business model like that, where you charge $20 for something a $5 DLC wouldn't be qualified for,
I still don't
it's
think the game
ridiculous.
mechanics would save this
But you've
game
never
because
played it.
Oh yes, I have.
Really? When did you play?
So
PS4
I got
now.
a PlayStation 4 this week, and guess what? All the bundles are terrible, so I got the Destiny one.
Last I heard, you had not played it.
Yeah, it was only this week.
Wait, all the bundles are terrible? Why didn't you just get GTA 5?
Because I want to get it for PC, basically. So come
Okay.
January, I'm still. If I got GTA 5 come January, I still wouldn't be able to play Destiny, and I would be able to play GTA 5 on PC. So
That's true.
it would be the best bundle to have until January comes. So
I see what you mean. So it's not that all the bundles suck, just all the ones that you wanted suck.
The missions are designed to be repeated, but the missions themselves are also very, very repetitive. You know, it's hard to get excited for new ones when most of them are about going to an area, killing a bunch of dudes, and pressing the square button to activate something. You know. So yeah, there's a lot of grinding. Grinding is never fun. Like, that's a model that's been tried and failed so many times.
See,
over
you're
the
going
years.
up against most of the gaming community there. Grinding can be fun in a lot of ways.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure.
I will say this. I completely agree with the 1 to 20 system. If removed, would have been fantastic. And keep the armor progression thing. That's good. Keep the ability progression. That's fine. But the 1 to 20 thing, there's no reason for that.
All right.
In my opinion, there's no reason for that.
All right, and that's a big chunk of game right there. Also, the missions have you going through the same zones over and over, performing activities that are significantly similar to the ones that you just did. Like I said, and story-wise, it does a good job at the beginning of the game, setting it all up with the Traveler and what happened. But then you go do story missions, and calling them story missions is, kind of a stretch, because they are very thin on world building and in-game lore, etc. Like, it doesn't build anything.
I'll stop you there.
Okay.
What in-game lore?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
You gotta go to their
They didn't have
website.
time
You
to
gotta go to
explain
their
it.
website and read it.
They didn't
Let's-
have time to explain it. We don't have time to explain that we don't have time to explain it.
Yeah. Also, you can play the story missions in multiplayer with up to 3 friends, but there's no matchmaking in place. So you really have to have those friends on your friend list. And yeah, the loot system also feels like half-baked. We've seen so many loot games do this thing better, where you pick up a new weapon, you can totally see that it's a different weapon. It's not just the stats that are different. The design on the weapons is so similar that you're pretty much just... You pick up a different auto rifle, you're pretty much just handling the same auto rifle, just with higher stats, because it doesn't look different at all.
There's slight differences, and I've been into the game pretty deep, and so far, if you're going for assault rifles, there are 2 fairly different versions of them, and by look, a lot of them do look fairly different until you hit the purples and whatever the flip is higher than that, orange, yellow, whatever.
Yellows. Not the exotics.
Yeah, once you hit legendaries and exotics, yeah, they look really similar to each other.
Yeah.
If you get one between another one, it's maybe slightly different, but it's gonna be the same flipping gun.
But you guys have played tons of RPGs where this was done way better. I'm guessing. Loot, you get another shiny weapon, and it actually looks different. There's lightning coming out of it or something. I don't know. I like the weapon design, but as a loot game with a loot system, I would like to see a bit more variety. That's a focus of the game.
Here's the thing: they actually removed grinding areas. That got me. I was actually just really? Seriously? All right.
Okay. Welcome to the stream, Hangest. Why do you hate Destiny?
Yeah, this is what the asshole says when he's late. He's fashionably late to the party.
I disagree with all of your opinions.
We should bring back Warlords of Draenor to the list.
I don't hate you guys. I love you. All right, let's get back into it. Where were we?
So we just removed Destiny. By the way, we lost a webcam, but Forgetas is still here.
Yeah. I am.
Goodbye, Destiny. Oh well. Hangus, do you want to do the honors?
Wait, you just removed Destiny? You can't do that.
We just talked about it. Okay. You want to defend Destiny? You want to keep it on a top 10
Yeah.
list? Okay, let's.
Yeah.
Hangus
I
is
was
your
listening.
savior, people, because Chad was getting pissed at us. But let's talk about Destiny. I'm going to put it back on the list, and
You can't
I'll
not
delete
have
it.
Destiny in the top 10. Come on, dude. Okay, first of all, pretty sure it was like the most successful game launch in history. So that's
Oh.
saying a whole lot right there.
Before you get started on popular opinions, we actually said it is going to be our personal opinions about the game.
yeah,
we're not basing
did
this
you
on
like it?
anything other
Doesn't
than
matter
how you
if it
felt
was
about it.
popular, if it was like everyone pre-ordered
That's
that
fine.
thing. So
But don't you care that a game like Destiny is adding legitimacy to gaming as an entertainment vertical
oh
in
no,
the eyes
no.
of
Do you
adults, so to speak? If
do you
they see
think
that
so?
a game, I say adults, I mean older people. When they see that a game is legitimizing the gaming industry by, say, outgrossing a AAA Hollywood movie like that in a big way, it's like, well, maybe these gamers really aren't such outcasts after all. That counts for something, for me at least. But I heard you guys' conversation about it earlier, talking about everything that's wrong with it.
Mhm.
And I think that mostly has to do with how overpromised it was and what people were expecting.
I don't think so.
And
It's a,
obviously,
it's a first-person shooter Diablo, and I didn't like Diablo.
I mean, what everybody overlooks is how solid it actually is, bare bones, like from a development standpoint. Do you disagree that Destiny builds upon what was great about Halo 2
I
and
don't.
3 or even 1?
I don't disagree.
I-
No.
I
Gameplay-wise,
feel like
no,
these are two
but
different beasts. to
yeah,
be
no.
honest.
Gameplay-wise, I don't disagree with that. But there's been so much stuff that Bungie has done better with Halo. Like, namely, if we talk story, like that's just point number
That's
one.
not gameplay, dude. It's not gameplay.
Mission design is gameplay. You could talk about that. Like the mission
I-
design is super repetitive. It's boring.
Okay, what about Strikes?
So I haven't played Strike, so I'll leave.
You haven't played Strikes?
I'll leave the opinion. I'm
the
level.
three-mans.
Yeah.
The three-mans.
So those are like the essential, the equivalent of dungeons or raids in this thing.
It's the
has-
equivalent of a dungeon.
Yeah.
The,
Well,
the
I mean-
amount that is given to the player is it's like, say you're giving a kid a sandbox, and like, these areas are great in the sandbox, but there's only like 5 little areas. That's
All right.
it.
It's a very fine line to be drawn, surely. But it's not engine related. It's not how smooth the actual FPS gameplay is. Content has nothing to do with that.
I have little I don't care about my frames as long as it's freaking like above 25. And I'm being fairly lenient.
In
All right.
defense of,
Well-
of the I was gonna say in defense of the repetitiveness, at least for me, and I can't. I am defending Destiny because I do love the game, but yes, eventually things start to feel a bit repetitive and over.
But here's
for
the thing.
me, it was 40 hours in and a month of solid gameplay before I started feeling that.
This
And-
game is designed to be 10 years old. They have plans. I mean, they've already been releasing these new raids. I haven't even tried the raids. And, you know, the Destiny will continue to evolve, and eventually there will be a sequel. What? It's funny about what I said.
It's the screen share. It's the screen share.
It is pretty funny. Anyways, so yeah, I absolutely acknowledge Macarius's point and Squee and Piff, you guys saying it's boring because there's not enough content. I think
Well,
that's
I
a
don't say
glaring
that.
weakness for the game.
So my question to Angus is: so do you believe it's going to be on top 10 list?
I think it
Game
definitely
of-
deserves to be in the top 10 based on its gameplay merits alone. It's an extremely smooth game. The gameplay is really fun. The PvP is really fun. It's not balanced, but hey, when did balance become a requisite for entertainment?
Yeah,
It's just
I-
really
okay.
exciting game.
And I will
Okay.
say this: if you guys feel that I shouldn't be letting my views of the game right now because of the DLC and everything color my view, I certainly think it should be in the top 10. My only issue, the only reason why I'm asking it to not be, is because we said at the very beginning it matters to how much, like, what do we personally feel about the game, and I'm upset right now to the point where if I try and play Destiny, I can't enjoy it because I am so pissed at it. Now, if I put the anger aside, I'm right next to Hengist in everything he says. I really do think it's an incredibly solid game. So I am kind of starting to backtrack a little bit because I'm not sure that the anger I feel right now should be representative of the game as a whole.
Honestly, dude-
Backtracking is a part of this, so don't worry about it.
Your
Yeah.
gripes are against Activision and how they tried to market this product. Okay, so here's we can all agree that this game is incomplete. I fully admit
Yes.
can we also agree that it has the potential to develop, and that what you bought for $60 was worth $60?
It's
that's
not
all that
going
really
to be
matters.
$60 though.
Yeah, it's not going to be
I'm saying the base
$60.
game. The base
No,
game
yeah,
that you
but-
paid $60 for. Is it worth it? Is it worth that money? Did you get a $60 worth of entertainment out of it?
You know, personally, I would say yes. It was a decent game for $60. Do I think it's top 10? No.
If I ignore the whole my anger of the DLC, I think that it's still some of the most fun I've had playing games this year. So yeah, it should go up there.
All
Agreed.
right, it stays on
Okay.
for now.
It stays on. Okay.
Who wants to kick the next game out of this list? Angus, do you want to do the honors?
Yeah, you've been
Yeah.
away for a while.
What am I kicking out?
Whatever
Any
game on the list
any of them.
deserves to
Oh,
be-
yeah,
I get
uh,
I get to
any of
pick
that.
one.
Nidhogg,
Yeah.
kick out Nidhogg.
No.
Let's talk about Second Son.
Let's talk about Infamous Second Son.
Infamous. Okay.
Did any of us play that? Oh look, it's Rurikant's channel.
No.
I've played a bit.
I've
Alright.
seen it, but I haven't played it.
Yeah, I've seen it. I haven't played it. That's where I'm standing from.
Same.
I beat the game,
Awesome.
so should I?
Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Let me get this straight. You want to remove this game from the list, right?
No,
It doesn't
no,
know.
I don't-
It doesn't know
I'm
yet.
not sure.
Oh, it
I'm
does.
undecided.
Oh, you're not sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Well.
Okay,
Well-
so here's how I felt about this game when it came out. Quite honestly, I can say this is the first next-gen game I feel like I ever played. It came out pretty early in the release cycle
Yeah.
of the PlayStation 4. I want to say it was in March.
I think so.
And I felt like this was really the first time we've seen like really stellar next-gen, quote, next-gen gameplay. The game runs at 30 FPS. As you can see, it looks really good. I mean,
Yeah.
the amount of detail, and I have a soft spot for this because this is based in the city of Seattle, which is where I'm from. It's one of the more impressive open worlds I've ever seen. Gameplay wise, it doesn't vary a whole lot from the original Infamous, if you guys have played those two games. Apart from the fact that you just have a lot more powers. It feels, story wise, a lot like a comic book. And the only problem with this game is that it has like no replayability. There's no co-op, there's no online. It's really just like single player for $60. You're gonna get a shitload of fun out of this, but you're not gonna want to play it again after you're done.
As
And
an
then they came up with a side story with Fetch. It was the DLC First Light,
yeah.
which I think they wanted like $20 for. It's kind of like it was more in the vein of a Last of Us expansion. If you guys have played
Yeah.
the recent expansion that came out for The Last of Us, it's more like a side story. So this is very much a storytelling game with really kick-ass gameplay. And the reason I think it's really should be up for consideration on this list is because of how it was kind of introductory to what the PS4 was capable of. It was an exclusive game for the PS4. It blows the hell out of Sunset Overdrive, even though Sunset Overdrive tried to basically knock off this game. It's definitely the best Infamous so far, in my opinion, which on those merits should probably mean it makes it into the top 10. I'm interested to hear what you guys think.
As an open world game, what did you think about the side activity stuff, like the side quests or the dynamic
It's
events?
extremely
there?
repetitive. Extremely.
Yeah.
It's basically take over this district of the city by capturing all these camps. Very similar to like Far Cry. Far Cry, you guys? I'm sure you played
Far Cry is still there on the list. Yeah, still haven't talked
Yeah,
about it.
it's very much like that. There are like races and collection, a lot of collecting Easter egg type stuff. Just enough to. It's basically a way to coax you into exploring the very impressive sandbox they made, which is really the selling point of this game. Is how beautiful the open world is. But gameplay-wise, you're never really going to be challenged, I don't think. It's not very difficult, but it is very entertaining. And mostly because you can switch your powers. If it was just smoke all the time, it'd get boring within a few hours. You have to take a break.
Yeah.
But, you get tired of smoke, hell, switch to neon or switch to the rock or whatever the other one is. I can't remember.
I'm okay with having this on top 10. I won't fight too hard for it, but if it stays, I'm okay with it.
Same here. I have not actually played it. I've only seen it and looked at it a little bit. I saw nothing I disliked or that immediately jumped out and said, no, this shouldn't be here. So,
All right. That
I
stays for
have
now.
nothing against this game. I have nothing also on favor, so it can stay on the list.
You guys sound pretty neutral.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very.
probably.
Yeah,
'Cause I don't
I
think
mean-
any of us have really played it that much as you have. So
I've played like 4 hours and it's like, okay, it was a good game.
Yeah, it's a game that I feel like it's all right. It's nothing that
Yeah,
I'm going crazy about. It's all right.
Yeah, it's not bad, it's not a bad game, but it's nothing. It didn't impress me that much. Okay, graphics were okay, were really good actually, but
Yeah.
that's it.
Does anyone want to knock another game out?
yeah, I wouldn't mind removing this War of Mine from the list.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Now, keep in mind this comes from someone who has not played it extensively, has only watched it and researched it, and the truth of the matter is, this kind of game just does not really appeal to me.
I think you've heard a lot of people squeak.
oh my God, Globk is gonna cry.
Apparently.
I'm gonna punch
I
Squee.
just look. Look. I don't know much about the story because, like I said, I haven't played it. So maybe the story is amazing. I don't know.
No
But
one
from
knows
what I've
about the
seen-
story because it's random. You get 3
It's not
random
random.
characters at the start, and then so much stuff can happen, and you kind of
Yes,
make your own
but it's
story
just-
there.
It's not that different from a point-and-click adventure, and those kind of games don't appeal to me. I would not have a lot of fun playing that game.
It's got battle mechanics. It really
Yes,
does.
but what I'm saying is, it's not that far removed. It's not. And again, like I said, I have not played it. I've only researched it, but nothing in that game stood out and made me go, "Ooh, I want to play this game." Maybe it's something that you just have to experience to be there. But from everything I've seen, nothing jumps out at me.
From what I've researched and things like that, from what I've seen, it is an amazing concept. I really want to get my hands on it just to get my own opinion about it.
It's great.
Because I might disagree and think it's not particularly too good. But from what I've seen, from what I've researched, it looks amazing. It has deep mechanics and stories, and it touches on a few things that I personally like exploration and also the cautionary sort of like, do I want to keep going and keep exploring because I might run into something that I don't want to run into.
All right, I mean, I'm fine keeping it on the list because the truth is, like I said, I don't know the most about it, and I from what I saw, nothing jumped out and grabbed me. But from how vehemently you guys are defending it, maybe I need to look into it more. Maybe what I saw just wasn't really what the game was. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Wasn't
I think
enough to really convey what it does.
I think we'll talk more extensively when we get a shorter list for sure.
Yeah.
But for now, I think it
that's
stays.
probably gonna be it.
I'm gonna say Wasteland 2. Does anyone care that much about Wasteland?
I was one. I picked that one. So
Okay, so let's
okay.
hear it. Why do you think this is a top 10?
It felt really good to see a game of this type again. Okay. And the decisions you had to make on the game, like it doesn't have like a fixed story. As you progress, it's kind of like the War of Mine thing, where as you progress through the game, you're gonna get your own story, and each time you start, it's a new story. Okay.
Okay.
So, okay. So I can. The only thing I can say about this for on the bad side of this game is that it's not very appealing to mass market, because it's kind of the Banner Saga thing. Or XCOM. Most people don't like it's not well accepted for most of gamers. It's slow and that's fast paced. So okay, if you want to remove that, I'm okay. I'm okay with it.
I will say this from the same I've talked to a very particular person about this, and he think the game was good, but something really irked him about it, which was the balance of the game, where like he started out as level 1 and then immediately like got to an NPC character that followed him that was way higher level than him and was way better than all of the things that he has accumulated like right off the bat. She basically just went around one-shotting people.
That's
Okay.
bad.
That probably tends to the character creation. You can create your own squad. So
All right.
I don't know. Probably just a bad start, I guess. But okay, you can remove this game. I'm okay with it. I personally was one of the best games I played this year. So
All right.
He's not even trying to defend it.
no, it doesn't sound like it was one of the best games you played this year.
no, because as a gamer, as a gamer, and I'm a fan of the series and of the genre, But I can see why it's not appealing to other people.
Yeah,
No, okay.
compared to some of the other games in this list, I mean,
Yeah.
To be honest, I could take it or leave it for top 10 just on somebody else's word, but if everyone's okay with dropping it, sure.
No, I'm okay with dropping it. I have other games that I
It's
enjoy.
gone. Okay.
now I understand how this process works.
Who wants to kick the next one? I just kicked
All right.
Wasteland.
Let's get a little controversial because I think I know somebody's going to try to defend. Legend of Korra.
Oh.
I will say this. I like the game. It's fun. It's definitely worth the price tag. Would I consider it one of the top 10 games of the year? No. It's fun. It's great. It's for the money. It's well worth it. It's a great game. It's not a top 10.
Here's the thing.
The primary focus here is their show. Like, this is not supposed to be a standalone game.
No, but on its own, just the gameplay, the combat system in that, it's amazing. It's extremely polished and feels super responsive. I like that. It's not an easy thing, you know? Creating the avatar, being able to manipulate all 4 elements. If you start from zero and think, how am I going to make that happen? It's not an easy task. And I think Platinum Games just pulled it off very well. I will say this, I really enjoyed it. After I watched Bayonetta, I realized that Legend of Korra was just an inferior version of Bayonetta 2.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I like the game. I even like the side game, the pro bending
Yeah.
mode.
Pro
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
pro
fun.
bending was cool.
Yeah, but there's nothing about this game that I think is bad. Like you said, I just think that there's other games on the list that would.
I can point some
beat it.
things that were bad on this game, at
Go.
least for the PC version.
Oh, okay.
Okay, the temple run thing with the giant dog was kind of off.
Yeah.
That was stupid.
I hated that.
That was a stupid.
Yeah.
But
It's a polar bear dog.
It's a
it's
polar
a-
bear dog.
It's a thing. It's something.
I think I have a little bit of that
but-
here. Yeah, there we go.
One of my main issues with the game, I watched it at Globcus, and it was the graphical options for the computer for the PC version of the game. There's no options available. It's like low, high, and medium settings, and there were no.
I hate
No,
that.
Because there's so
Conversation
little detail, dude. Look at this scene right now. Look at the background.
No, like Glock was saying, combat was amazing.
Uh-huh.
Probably not on Bayonetta level, but yeah, it was like an inferior Bayonetta. Still good though.
Yeah.
Story-wise, it was okay, I guess.
It was very lacking. No, yeah. I feel like...
Story-wise, just watch the cartoon. That's
No.
the strategy.
Like, the thing is, they tell a
I'm a
side
fan of-
story.
I'm-
They show you a new villain, and the villain has some sort of grudge with one of the previous avatars, like one of the previous generations. They never go into that. Like, you know he has a grudge because the avatar sort of killed him. You never know how he got his powers, which is chaos bending, which is something that never shows in the series either.
Yeah, it never shows in the series.
And they never explain like who that avatar was, what he did to that guy, why is he a bad guy, how did he become... Like, it feels like there's a bigger story than what they're telling. So, Piff,
So
I'm okay with...
Yay!
I think I'm okay
Yeah,
with
don't try,
removing
don't
this
try.
from
That
this
one out of there.
list.
Yeah, go ahead. I don't think it should stay either.
But yeah, great value. Like $15 for
Yeah.
for this game, definitely worth it.
Yeah,
Definitely
I can say
worth
that.
it. This, yeah.
All right, I'll go for one just to move things along.
Go for one.
The floor is jelly.
No, you don't.
No,
Why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me?
The concept is interesting. It is, but it's a concept that's interesting for about 10 minutes, and then it's just another platformer.
For
Yeah,
$10,
it's,
though.
it looked like.
But
and
we're not. I'm not talking about is it worth the price. I'm talking about is it one of the top 10 games of the year.
I don't think it's interesting for 10 minutes because they keep adding new puzzle elements to the game that you keep challenging yourself. Would you say that Super Meat Boy is boring after 10 minutes? That's
Yes, that's me.
Oh, okay.
Whoa.
Whoa! This is coming from a guy who doesn't like platformers that much.
All right.
This
Okay.
isn't really a platformer, though. I mean,
It is
I don't know
totally
how
a
you
platformer.
classify this.
Is
it is. It's a puzzle.
most
platform
certainly
game.
is a platformer.
This is like a Super Meat Boy. okay?
Yeah,
Like,
Super Meat
Which
Boy
is also
I'm
a
not
platformer.
comfortable calling Super Meat Boy a platformer because that game is so fucking intense. You'll lose yourself for like a day.
It's
Look,
still a platformer.
I fully admit that I am biased, that those kind of games generally don't appeal to me. I'm not a big Super Meat Boy fan. I'm not a big The Ground is Jelly, The Floor is Jelly. I'm not a big platformer fan, and whatever you want to say, those are platformers.
All right, fine. They're platformers, but
Yeah,
it's not a
but-
regular platformer.
But like I said, I'll be
No,
fully,
there's-
I'll be fully upfront and forthright that it's just not my style of game. So I don't think it should be on the list.
Yeah, it's that kind of art style, you know? It's definitely inspired by the super artistic Japanese style,
Oh, yeah.
whatever. And that, oh man, you can lose yourself to a game like that. I definitely enjoy these kinds of games. I haven't played this. I want to now. So thanks for bringing it to my attention.
Okay. Not top 10 for me.
For
it was
me-
a good game.
For me, it was very reminiscent of Super Meat Boy, especially because you can, do the wall jump thing. And that was very reminiscent of Super Meat Boy. But without the silliness, I mean, it's got a more peaceful tone to it. Like, the soundtrack is super calm. And there's actually, I was commenting this before we went live, there's actually elements in the game that influence the soundtrack. Like, if you jump on certain platforms, it will play notes that are consistent with what's playing on the background. That is super satisfying. It is gorgeous, and it feels like there's a layer underneath the game of stuff that is just hidden. It's just hidden messages. Like, it feels like the game doesn't have a story. It's just you clearing levels over and over. But underneath it all, it feels like there's a lot of room for interpretation, like a lot of meta, if you want to call it
Yeah.
that.
I have never played it, and I want to now, but I don't think it's worthy of the top 10 for this.
Biff,
I will say if I have your word that you think it's one of the best games, then I'm totally going to be on your side, because as far as I'm concerned, you're the resident expert on this.
you see, okay, things against it. The game is very short, like 2 to 3 hours long. It gets super weird towards the end. I'd say too weird for my taste. But some people might like that. I don't know. I had one other complaint. Oh, there's one type of puzzles that I don't like. So I'm showing you now. That was like the basics, the basic of the basics. I'm gonna skip the video ahead a little bit just to see. Okay. So world turning mechanics. If you go to that arrow, the whole world turns, and it keeps giving you these little puzzle elements that keep the game interesting from start to finish.
Kind of reminds me of Fez.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's one of the elements that I don't like. But yeah, it's one out of, I don't know, 6, 7 puzzle elements that they introduce. I am probably biased. I don't know. I love Super Meat Boy. I love platformers, and as a platform lover, I think this game is definitely worth it.
Okay.
So,
But do you think it's one of the top 10 games that you've played all year?
that I've played, yes. That's on this list, maybe. Because I haven't played Mario Kart, Smash Bros. I haven't played Bayonetta. I haven't played Dragon Age Inquisition.
I will say this: like, I'm not the best judge because, like I said, these kind of games just are not my cup of tea. I would never consider a game like this, or like Super Meat Boy, for example. Sure,
Are we dissing this game because it's just a platformer?
The guy. Hope
I
so.
am. That's
Wow.
basically me. I just don't find it fun. But that's just
Ah.
one voice. So
Yeah.
I'm not. I like I said, I think this game is super cool, but
Not top 10.
know.
Yeah, not top 10 for me either.
I think this will be one of the games that
We
I
should
might
discuss later.
I might be able to discard later in the face of like, is it going to be this game or this game?
right. Yeah.
Okay,
sure.
So
But I want to see. I want to see a shorter list before.
Yeah. Okay.
all right.
Let's talk about I don't know.
My pick, I guess.
Okay.
Civilization?
Civilization Beyond Earth. I'm not going to defend that at all.
Nope.
No, me neither.
Who put
No,
that there?
and I'm a huge strategy game nut. I still no.
I
would
loved
say
Civ
this-
5, and
All right. I'll say this about the game: it is pretty much exactly what happened to Civ 5. When it was released, it didn't really work out that well. But when there's a few more expansions, I'm sure it'll be a delightful
It will.
game to play. But at the moment, it's
feels like a promise, not a fully
Not a
enjoyable
game.
experience. Yeah.
Okay.
Goodbye. That was fast.
Fine.
Yeah.
Right then.
So what do we have there?
Can I say
I want to
Wolfen?
remove Smite. Did this game even come out this year?
It came out this year.
It came out this year, yeah, and looked like it came out like 5 years ago.
I know.
Game's a piecer. Remove it. Tell me why not.
It's a great twist on the MOBA genre. The third person gives it a whole other perspective. I do feel that the game copies League of Legends heavily, especially.
What else besides a third-person camera does it do differently?
Yeah, nothing.
It
I know.
does. It,
But the third person camera by itself changes gameplay in a significant way, I'd say.
totally, yeah.
Anyone else?
But I'm not defending it. I don't think it's a top 10. I'm not defending it.
Okay.
Yeah, I like
anyone
the game, but I'm
want
not
to keep
defending
this?
it.
No.
No.
No one's
Kill
defending
with
it.
fire.
I didn't even get to
Chemical
play.
fire.
Look, I had an amazing match on Smite, and this conversation is already over. Let me get a kill here. Kill them. Kill.
Bam!
Awesome.
Woo! Good job.
Yeah.
And I know that Smite has a very devout following, by the way. It's there's definitely a cult following for this game, and I just don't understand why.
Double kill.
Maybe they haven't played a good MOBA before.
Maybe. I don't know. Okay, who wants to go next?
But if I can pick another one, so Lords of the Fallen.
But
This game looks great.
Yeah.
Okay, but my question is, it's a Dark Souls, and does it stand up to it, or no? Dark
That's-
Souls still is
no.
it's still better.
no,
looks better.
I'd say yeah. First of all, it looks better. There are some things that it does better than Dark Souls. I can think of out of the top of my head, the backstabs seem to be working better than Dark Souls. Like Dark Souls is always very iffy with the backstabs. You have to be exactly on the precise spot.
Yeah.
It forgives you a little bit for messing up on that, but not too much. Like you still feel like, yeah, I gotta get behind this guy to do that. It does. The combos are great. Namely the dual wielding. Dual wielding on Dark Souls, I think, never worked 100%.
No, it did not.
Dual wielding in this game. So here's how combat works. You tap the attack button once, and then you tap it again to combo, right? That's how all these games work. But there's a timing element to it. If you time it correctly, you will spend less stamina, and depending on the weapon you have, you might also perform special combos after 2 or 3 hits that are timed correctly. So every time you fight, you are not just button mashing, you are also worried about getting these special combos out because they do a lot of damage. When you die, you lose experience, or your experience gets dropped on the floor and you have to go grab it like the souls in Dark Souls. But there's a twist to it. The longer you take to get their experience back, the more experience that stack loses. You know, like it starts at 100% when you respawn, and then the experience starts decreasing, the experience you can recover. You might also choose to not recover the experience right away, because as long as you're standing near the experience, you're regenerating health. So if you died in a particularly hard place and you need that little extra help with health regen, you can do that. I really like this game, but I'm with Piff on the bugs and the crashes. This game was riddled with them. I think if it didn't have any of that, I would defend it a bit more. The state it released, I don't think so. But I will defend this game over Dark Souls 2. So if this is going, I would argue Dark Souls 2 has to go to.
All right.
I have an issue with all these play this game because it's hard titles. It's kind of become this new trend, like, games are too easy these days, which is totally true. If you play some of the retro stuff, it's way harder.
Yeah.
But, it's not a trend to make a difficult game just for the sake of it being difficult. You know what I mean? It's like, this game could be difficult, sure, and I'm sure most people acknowledge that it is. But when you lose and you're having a hard time progressing, are you actually having fun? Are you losing for reasons that are actually invigorating?
Yeah.
When you get killed by one of these mobs, you're like, God damn that guy! I'm gonna come back there and slice you into 6 different pieces.
Yeah.
Is it that kind of an anger?
Yeah.
Or is it like, God, this is such a drag. This game is frustrating.
No.
Losing like that. It's
Like
so
that was my
cheap.
problem with Dark Souls 2. Yeah.
Not at all. Yeah, but the thing with Dark Souls 2, I also felt like it wasn't unfair at all. I also felt like, man, this boss is hard. I'm gotta keep bashing my head against it, and then finally gets the satisfaction of beating him at the end. It's the same feeling. It's the same thing as Dark Souls in that regard.
My problem with Dark Souls 2, and I don't know if Lords of the Fallen have the same problem, is that, and I know everyone likes to argue this point, but you have two basic options. One, look up a guide online, or two, spend hours and hours trying every little thing to figure it out on your own. And while that can be fun sometimes, it absolutely is not fun in Dark Souls 2. And Dark Souls 2 encourages you to metagame the hell out of it by finding help from other players or going online, and I hate that.
No, there's no such things here. It's a lot better in having the game explain everything to you. The story is also told like really upfront. It's not something that you got to read through the item descriptions and stuff like that. Nothing of the sort. I will say though, I had a much easier time playing this as a like bulky warrior character with heavy armor and heavy shield, big sword or mace or whatever, than playing as a rogue. As a rogue, it felt significantly harder. So there is a way that the game can be easier to play. Doesn't mean it restricts you with a choice, but your choices can make the game very hard.
Let me ask a controversial question.
Go ahead.
Does anybody feel that Dark Souls 2 is better than this game?
No.
No.
So why don't we just remove Dark Souls 2 and leave this one up for consideration?
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good.
Yeah. You guys want to talk about Dark Souls 2 before removing it, or just removing it?
No, just...
No, because we just decided that Lords of the Fallen is better than Dark Souls 2. The reason I think Dark Souls 2 should be removed without consideration is that this game doesn't improve upon its original, and it actually feels like the same thing. It's almost like a cash out. It doesn't look any different in any way. You know?
It doesn't look different,
it
but
added some
is.
things that were different, but nothing major. So yeah, it could go.
To me, it's like it's a degradation of the series. It just needs to be expunged. It's just it doesn't really add anything to the franchise. And I know some very avid Souls fans, and I haven't heard from a single one of them that this game is better than Dark Souls the original.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anyone thinks it is, yeah.
Okay, Dark Souls 2 is gone. This list is getting shorter. I think The Wolf Among Us should go next.
I don't know enough about it to be able to comment on it. I know what it is. I know that it's very story-based. I know that Telltale Games does a great job with those.
I am so done with Telltale Games formula, you know.
It can go for me.
How about that Game of Thrones, yo? It's just like, it's not even a game. I can't call this a game. To me, it's an interactive story.
Interactive story, yeah.
Okay.
It's like, this is the kind of thing that you get your child to play on the little Leapster, you know, when learning how to play a game and learn a subject at the same time. Except you're not learning anything when you play this. You're not actually challenging your brain in any way. You're just watching a story unfold, and you have a minor impact on how that happens. And they take these big-ass franchises like Game of Thrones or, you know, Wolf Among Us, and they just kind of like take a dump on it. They make a lot of money, and then they call it a game. Like, there's no gameplay here. You're pressing buttons in a timing window. And that is not top 10 game material. Not in the slightest.
Right.
Not top
Sorry.
10.
I can agree
I know a
with
lot
that.
of people love this game.
The story might be worth it. Not top 10 game material.
No,
In
I
our
agree.
opinion.
Yeah,
It's
I
not
would
a
even I'd even be willing to say it might be one of the top 10 graphic novels of the year. But
Yeah, exactly.
I agree that it's not really a game to me.
Let me just reiterate. I think this is a fine production. I think it's very stylish. They got great acting. It's like great animation work. But this Who Wants to Be a Millionaire format, it's not a game.
I never thought of it that way.
It looks the UI looks exactly like Who
It
Wants to Be a
does, it
Millionaire.
does.
I gotta clap to that. Yeah.
Except all the
Yeah,
choices are
dude,
correct.
This is a top 10 games list, and if you're going to put this game against other things on this list, like Smash Bros, that have just like a gameplay mechanic, a game control scheme that's just, it's not even, you can't even put it in the same genre. It's not a game.
no.
I'm sorry. I want to remove Lethal League. Who wants to oppose me?
Me.
I do.
Me.
I love
do.
Lethal League.
Okay, next game.
I
Let's
love games
kick
that
another
come up
one.
with Interesting. I love games that come up with interesting and new techniques and designs, and that are really fun to play. And I think that they should be promoted. And I think it definitely is a top 10. Just the concept and the execution is phenomenal.
I'm
Piff,
just gonna start
Piff,
trying to hit
Piff, you
Loadout.
wanted Nidhogg out of this.
Yes.
No.
But you want Lethal League in? I don't follow.
If Lethal League is out, then Nidhogg is out.
Oh yeah,
Lethal League is by far I think it had much more to it than
I agree.
Nidhogg did.
I agree.
Also, it's a lower price as well. Which
I've never played this game. Someone explain to me. Is this competitive? Can you get into like?
It's a competitive fighting game.
It's Street Fighter meets Pong. So you fight with the ball. Basically, the ball is what kills the other player. Once you hit the ball, it becomes of your color, and you cannot be killed by your own ball. So you have to hit it, and then the other guy, if he hits it back, you keep going back and forth, and the ball gets faster and faster. It can go up to crazy speeds. I think I got a few.
That is really cool.
Crazy
is
plays
there any
up
other
here.
game with that concept in existence?
No.
Tekken Volley.
Okay, I've never seen anything like this before. Therefore, I think it should be in the top 10.
Great.
Yeah, it should be on top 10. Although it's not a new concept for me, it does it so good that it looks fresh.
Here's my
How much
complaints
is this game?
with this game, though.
$12.
I do have a few complaints about this game. I will totally keep it on the top 10 list, but most of the complaints have to do with the online. Because if you're going to play this game competitively, you're going to do it mostly online unless you have friends to play locally. And locally, it is a flawless game. Online, a little bit of lag is fucking painful to deal with because this is so dependent on timing. You got to hit the ball at the precise time, and especially with 4 players, because this has 4-player free-for-all. One guy with a bad connection is enough to ruin your game. And lately, I haven't even been able to get into matches. It's like this game is a desert right now.
Desert?
Yeah, so if you buy this expecting to play it online, you might just not get into any matches at all, which is a bummer.
That is a downside, actually. I didn't know that was a thing.
I think we should come back to this one then.
Okay, that's another one.
Loadout.
Loadout?
Good
Well, that's
game.
a
I
good
will not
game.
defend it. Great game. I will not defend it for top 10.
I won't
I
defend
will
it
not
either. I
defend
don't know enough about it. To me, it looks like Team Fortress 2 with some interesting twists, but that's about it. I mean, I've never played it, so...
Except instead of classes, you can customize weapons, and there's huge
Right.
customization to the weapons themselves.
The thing that really cracks me up about this game is how gory it is. It's gory with taste. You know, everyone's all up in arms about this hatred issue. It's nothing like that. It's totally comic, and it's fucking hilarious. When somebody gets their leg blown off, and they're hopping around on one leg, and like, ah! Right before they get exploded by a grenade launcher. I don't know. This game is just, to me, it's way better than TF2. Like, it's so
Really?
entertaining. Yeah.
It's there are different.
That is
there
a
are two
discussion not
different-
worth getting into.
No.
Not right now.
I have some cons against this game, so I'm not going to defend this for the top 10. I have lots of fun with this game when it came out, so, but some things are just wrong on this game.
Well, it's not even done yet, is it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Is it still-
it's the
I agree with everything you said, but I'm not defending it for top 10
I
still.
don't think it's developed enough. It's super fun. Like, you want to have just a fun party with your buddies online. I don't think you can play this game LAN. I wish you could. But, you know, bust out a couple drinks, play this game for a good couple hours. You're going to have a blast.
You can still
Yeah,
create a
what?
private party, custom match. You can still do that.
And bring the LAN back to these games. Come on, guys.
Wolfenstein: The New Order. I don't know much about it. Is there any reason to keep it on the list?
I
Because from
don't
what I've
like
seen,
it.
it looks like
I don't like it.
it looks
No,
like another
not for me.
Wolfenstein game, which wasn't really that impressive.
It's not just another Wolfenstein game. It has good things going for it. I particularly like the small details, like what would happen to mass media in case the Nazis won the war. Like hearing the Beatles sing in German was something that really struck me. It was like, yeah, everything would be in German. Like if the Nazis won the World War, everything would be in German. Like popular.
Yeah.
I would be live streaming in German right now. That's how crazy it is. So yeah, and it does a lot of things to set up the universe like that, but ultimately you're just shooting dudes. I like the fact that you can dual wield most weapons, like dual wielding assault rifles is crazy. But ultimately it's go into a room, shoot a bunch of dudes.
probably
Okay.
was the best Wolfenstein on those later titles that came out from the franchise.
Mhm.
Yeah, but the story was really good.
Mhm.
The other
Okay,
ones.
so what about
really
gameplay wise? Where do you put this against something like Destiny? Why is that funny?
Totally two different games. Both
I'm talking
shooters-
about
This is a
Gameplay.
purely single player
The
experience,
the shooting
very-
mechanic.
and it's
How,
y-
how
you.
smooth is it?
Oh, okay, that's
it's
you
good.
don't want to go there because I hated shooting mechanics from Halo.
Also, I will never get used to shooting with a controller.
It's about the polish, dude. Come on.
No. It's good. I don't think. I just think
No,
it's sort of
it's
repetitive.
good, but it's not top 10 material for me. Okay?
Yeah. I got bored with this game pretty early on. There is a choice that you make early on that significantly changes the game, so it's worth 2 playthroughs as well,
Sure.
if you're into it. But I'm not into shooting Nazis in the face over and over.
For me, anytime we have an FPS up for discussion, we have to compare them to one another for this list.
I'd
And
say
I'm
we
comparing
drop
this to-
both of them.
Okay. So I'm comparing this to Destiny right now, and I don't see a reason why this should be a higher grade than Destiny.
Yeah, no, it's out.
Yeah, no, I
Sure.
agree. I don't see anything in it that makes it a top
No.
10.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. No, by that point of view, yeah, I agree with you. So no top 10 for me.
All right, it's gone. Trials Fusion. What do you
The
guys think?
reckoning is coming
'Cause I
for
think-
Destiny.
I think Trials Fusion will also be a quick delete.
Yeah, no,
I think so too. It's interesting. It looks kind of fun. Doesn't look like a top 10.
it's Trials. If you play Trials, it's Trials.
I like
Yeah.
the new tricks system. That is really awesome, but it's not enough for this game to be a top 10.
This is a web browser game.
It used to be, yeah.
It used to be, yeah, but
Web
no,
browser
it-
games, they're just not polished enough to be on this list.
Speaking of Nidhogg,
No.
We've been there.
yeah,
We've
yeah.
been there.
we decided to come back to it. I
Yeah.
think it's coming to that point.
I think Sunset Overdrive, Evil Within still deserve a conversation before we
let's
go
take
back
Sunset
to.
There-
Overdrive
there's
off the
some,
list.
some games we should
Alright.
talk about.
Yeah, Sunset Overdrive.
Okay.
To me,
I want to play it, but I have no opinions on it.
Listen here, I bought this game on release day, and I played it for about 2 hours. I haven't touched it since. Why?
I heard
This
it
game
gets
is
much better.
fucking boring.
I heard it
It
gets
is
much
so
better towards
boring.
the end.
Say what?
I heard it gets much better towards the end, and like as you unlock new abilities to do the rail stuff, I think did you unlock the air dash?
I don't think so.
Okay, because that's a big deal. Like on traversing the world, as you unlock abilities, it becomes a much more pleasant experience. That's something positive to say about the
Okay,
game, that
sure,
it gets
sure,
better
but if the
later,
game
but
can't
it's
even-
also
if it-
something negative because it's not good from the get-go. Sure.
right.
Yeah, if it can't even captivate me long enough to start to delve into what makes the game entertaining, then it's not even like forget it. There's that combined with the fact that it's just a knockoff of Second Son. It's a lesser version of Infamous. It looks great.
It's
if you
not.
have an Xbox One, maybe play a demo of this. But frankly, I would never recommend this game. And it's one of the flagship titles they had for the Xbox One from the very get-go before the console came out.
I would totally play
And it's
this
just-
if I had an Xbox
it's a
One,
com-
though.
Say what?
I would totally play it if I had an Xbox One, though.
Yeah.
You can
Uh,
have my copy, dude.
Great.
You can have it.
Thank.
I'll ship it to you.
Ship
Because-
me your copy of the Xbox One, and we're good.
The game, not the console.
Is Sunset Overdrive gone?
I
think
can
it should be.
leave it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
All right, it's gone.
Bye.
What
Evil
about Transistor?
Oh, that's staying. That's don't even argue that. That is staying.
I don't. Well, the thing I don't know enough about. I know the basics that it's an action RPG, that it's got some fun elements. I just didn't know it was if anyone liked it enough to keep it on the list.
Oh, that is a top
I will
5
say
thing.
For
Yeah.
Wow.
all right, so if
I'm
two
impressed.
people agree with it, I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm fairly
exactly.
good.
I don't know enough
will-
about that game to really.
I will note that the person that I talked about this was really frustrated about its turn-based mechanic, where you would line up attacks, and then every once in a while it won't actually go through with those. Like it will go through those actions, but you're not going to be hitting the thing that you said to hit because you're just going to be swinging wildly into the air.
Depends. So while you're stopped, you will target something, but your first attack might move your target, and then your next attacks won't hit it. That does happen sometimes, but it's so rare. I don't
This
think
game
it's,
kind of looks like Bastion.
it's
It-
from
it
the
is
same
from the same
developers.
creators.
It's from the same company. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that name was familiar. Is it better than Bastion?
It's completely
opinion?
different. It's
From the
totally
person
different.
I talked to,
Yeah.
It's very different. Yeah, I don't think it deserves a comparison, to be honest.
All right.
Yeah,
So we want to keep
besides
that.
the art style, it's not that similar to the last.
if there's a strong argument to keep it, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, same
battle
here.
it.
I have to be neutral on it because I don't know enough about it to say one way or the other. But I'm surprised that it's gotten such defense, and I'm actually kind of pleased with it now. What about Evil Within?
Yeah,
All right,
That thing can go.
I'm the one person who put this in just because it was part of the year thing. I'm going to sort of defend
oh, that's
it.
Brianna.
But to be honest, if somebody were just like, fuck that, then you're just like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Okay,
but, the
go
Evil Within... Oh, okay. The Evil Within is basically a game where it tries to be a horror game and it does it really well at the beginning, and then it screws up at the end, and the ending sucks. But there's another interesting side of this. As much as I really love the story and things like that at the beginning and not so much at the end, I really like the gameplay at the beginning and not so much at the end, where they sort of screwed the pooch on a few of its elements. I did find out something else about the game. I started playing on its hardest difficulty, which is like just a mixture of like the worst things that you could put in a game, and it started becoming sort of like that sort of Dark Souls like thing where it becomes super difficult to a point where like every single battle is sort of like a puzzle, and it becomes this like preservation. There's even like particular like guides and things that even say like this section is so hard, you do these specific things, and this is like really hard to do, and then you have to basically like go into a very particular section, duck and scurry into a corner, and you have about a 10% chance of actually living. I would argue that I've had enough fun trying to get through this that I enjoyed it, but if other people are just like meh and don't like it,
No,
whatever.
not at all. I think that this was more frustrating than fun. I felt like I was going through the same encounters over and over on slightly different scenarios. Rather than making me develop new strategies, the game just kept throwing more of the same enemies at me, requiring more ammo to spend, instead of forcing me to adjust and create new strategies, you know. It also feels like everything that I liked about this game was taken directly from Resident Evil 4. Like, Mikami just ran out of ideas at that game. Especially, like, you get to a village close to the beginning of the game, and it's like, yeah, this is Resident Evil 4. Like, this village looks deserted. It's going to be full with enemies. Guess what? It was full with enemies. And then there's a boss fight, which is a guy with a chainsaw chasing you. Sound familiar? I think so.
Can anybody else hear Kriana?
No.
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 Okay.
Kriana is
Dude,
just
she's
the
in
background
she's in the
gameplay.
image, that's why they're talking.
Okay.
For me, I've seen people play it a lot. I haven't played it myself.
Alien Isolation. What do you guys think?
Wanna cut that off from the top 10?
I want to cut that off from the top 10.
Why?
You're calling me crazy?
I'm not calling you crazy.
I think there are 10 games better on this list. I did love Alien Isolation. At this point, there are a few games on this list that I didn't like. Alien Isolation was great. I would argue that's the best horror game of this year. Visually, it's really good.
It's so pretty.
Yeah, it is.
It's so pretty.
Also, but first of all, the game overstays its welcome, I think. It's way too long.
I spent a good hour at the beginning of the game. Like, I'm still in the tutorial for like the first hour. Like, I don't. So far, I've opened a few doors and some crazy guy just started wielding a gun in my face.
You've opened a few doors. Well, there's a lot more of that.
Oh, good.
But yeah, I still, despite the fact that it is a good game, for these flaws, I don't think it deserves a top 10. It gets really repetitive. Because it's the stealth, you're pretty much doing the same the whole time. The enemy types don't feel that different. There are essentially 3 enemy types: humans, the androids, and the alien. And basically, the humans and the androids are inferior versions of the alien. They are either slower or they are vulnerable to more weapons than the alien is, because the alien is kind of invulnerable to bullets. He can only be affected by the flamethrower, while the others, if you shoot them enough times, they will eventually die.
Yeah.
So,
Are there any moments where you're just like, oh my god, that was so scary? Let me catch my breath really quick.
yes.
And if so, how many of them?
The amount of times that happens is it depends because the enemies have random patrols, and those random patrols can be very satisfying if everything works out. It can also be very annoying because sometimes you have to go through a corridor and you just have to wait for the alien to get out of there, and you can be waiting forever because it's random like that. But sometimes because of the randomness, you do have those moments where you turn around and holy shit, the guy's right there.
Yeah.
Do they happen often? I'd say not enough for the amount of game there is. Towards the end, yeah, it happens a lot. Like, the game gets very, very tense towards the end. But...
It has a slow start. Yeah.
It does have a slow start.
Well, it looks really good, and it's based on a really popular franchise. But I don't think that's enough
No.
to put it in a top 10 list for this year.
Okay.
For this year, no.
So
It's going off.
Is Nidhogg still on this list?
Nidhogg is still on the list. Yeah.
All right.
Am I the only advocate for Nidhogg?
No, you're not.
Okay. Then it's too early to have that conversation.
I like Nidhogg. I do.
Okay. No, I mean advocate
so
as
do I.
in top 10 advocate for this year.
I wouldn't put it on top 10 myself.
Angus?
Too soon, Executor.
Too soon. Too soon. Very well.
Okay, too soon. So
Then you go ahead, Angus.
Okay. Let's take a look
dun,
at
dun,
Shovel Knight. No, I don't want to remove Shovel Knight yet.
Okay.
Let's take a look
I like
at...
how everything.
I want to
Okay,
remove
let's
it
get started.
eventually, just not yet.
Let's take a look at Lethal League.
All right.
Let's take a look at Lethal League. Very well.
I
So
would
that-
like to remove Lethal League from this list.
Ooh.
See,
Before
this is
removing
what gets
Nidhogg,
me. This is what gets
I
me.
wouldn't at all. I wouldn't remove
It's-
Lethal League before Nidhogg.
That is my exact reason. Like, if Lethal League wasn't on here, I would probably be more lenient to Nidhogg. But it is a cheaper and I feel better game.
Would I...
Okay,
What I-
go. Go ahead. Sorry.
Latency is so good.
I'm sorry.
This is what it feels like to play Lethal League online. It's
Okay, I'll go first. I think that what we should be looking at here is which of these games took longer to play. Excuse me, not play, to make. Because I always try to factor in how hard the developer worked to make this game, because it does matter to me. Although it doesn't, at the end of the day, really determine which is a better game. The reason I think Nidhogg is more spectacular is because I feel like it was an accident. Like it was some kind of an original idea that just became very special and very memorable. Like some of the best things are discovered by accident now. And I feel like that's Nidhogg, and I feel like it doesn't happen often. And we should respect that.
We can leave it until we get an impasse.
Is
about
it just because of the game's development that you put Nidhogg ahead? Like, if you just look at the game's quality, would you put Lethal League in front
Yeah,
of Nidhogg?
yeah, quality-wise for sure. It's how unique Nidhogg is. I've never seen anything like it.
I haven't seen anything like Lethal League.
Yeah,
Yes, you
that
have.
was my thought.
It's like a 2D scrolling fighter that you've seen it 1,000 times. The only difference is you're hitting a balloon with a baseball bat.
Well, I've seen Samurai Gun last year. Looks a lot like Nidhogg.
Oh yeah, Samurai Gun. I love Samurai Gun.
I love Samurai Gun. Yeah,
Then why isn't Samurai Gun on the list?
because
Bob?
it's last year.
last year.
It's
This
last
is from last year.
You do make a convincing argument.
Okay.
I think that Lethal League is very polished, and after discussing it, I think that it probably does deserve to be above Nidhogg.
All right. Are we removing Nidhogg from the list?
It appears so.
Okay. Do it.
This is a very painful thing to do, but I will.
We're not saying it's a bad game.
No,
It's
not at all.
It's in a ranking system.
Well, hopefully none of these are bad games.
I
Admittedly.
changed the
no,
font, didn't I? I totally changed the font on this. God damn it. All right. Back to normal.
What the? No, that's not normal. Okay. Oh, sorry. I have the input lag. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Arkham is saying that we should kick Stick of Truth.
Let's have that conversation. Are we? Are all of us South Park fans?
Generally.
I'm not really a big fan of South Park. I enjoy the show, but I'm not really a big fan.
I'm not
Same.
saying I watch all the episodes as soon as they come out or something like that, but do all of us enjoy South Park once in a
Yeah, once in a while, I enjoy watching episodes too.
Then we're not having this conversation right now. I don't know, unless you want to kick it out right now, Gators. I don't know. What's your pick?
Okay, we can do this. For me, it's like I can find 10 better games on the list than South Park, because although it was a fun game, it's just not top 10 material. Just that. South Park, it's good for fans of the series, but if you don't watch South Park, or you just have like a vague idea of what it is, then the game is not going to be as fun as it should have been.
Mm-hmm. I would totally be okay with letting South Park off this list if neither of us enjoy the show, because if you don't enjoy the show, you're not going to enjoy the game. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
So if neither of us were fans of the show, I would be totally okay with letting it go. Personally, I think South Park's The Stick of Truth was awesome for its entertainment value. I think those were the exact words that Angus said last week, actually.
Yeah.
But as a game outside of the South Park universe, it's a fun RPG. It's not a great RPG by any measure.
Yeah.
But
That polish, though. That polish.
Yeah, it's really polished. Yeah. But it's not like the leveling system is not as deep as most RPGs, and so.
But that's not the point of the game. That's the thing.
I
It's
would
just-
actually agree to kick it, but it looks like there is a bit of discussion about this that we can do. All right. So personal thoughts on this. Generally, it's a fantastic story. It feels like a really good episode of South Park when it actually gets to the story and whatnot. But the gameplay itself, it's good when it's flashy, when it does its new moves, but there is absolute zero replay value, and the leveling system and item system are they're in two separate categories, mainly because when you level up, so do the enemies. So what you have to do is make sure that you gear yourself to the appropriate level, and that's just annoying. And it doesn't feel like you're really getting better. You just see numbers get higher, but so do the enemies at the exact same time, which makes it really stale as gameplay.
It's too damn polished. Okay. Like, yes, it's a mediocre RPG. Yes, it's a good RPG because it's based on South Park and you actually feel like you're playing the cartoon. But not every game has the level of polish that Stick of Truth has. The voice acting, the animations, even the, just the illustrations look like it's straight out of the cartoon. And the fact that it has a franchise outside of its game just adds to how enjoyable the game is, I think. I just feel like you guys are making the argument, well, it's good because it's South Park, but that's about it. You know what I'm saying?
That is totally my argument.
Yeah, I would completely agree. The one thing that is holding this thing up is it's South Park story, characters, visuals, things like that.
Which again, I went into this discussion thinking I'm totally okay if no one likes South Park, but if they do, they must understand how funny and entertaining this game is.
We can go to some other ones.
Okay,
we can go.
Okay, Piff. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, sure, go ahead.
All right, Destiny.
There you go.
Hengist, you're the only one holding on to Destiny here.
You're the only one.
I'm the only one who's defending this game?
Oh yeah, by the way, Squee's in here. He had a family emergency.
We murdered him to get
Yes,
this argument
yes.
done.
No, actually, yeah, he couldn't be here, which is sad because he did help make the list the way it is right now. He did cut off like 18 games off this list together with the four of us, but unfortunately he's not here today to bring it home with the final 10. And he was one of the people who wanted Destiny on this list. Him and Hengist.
So I'm going to look at the game. Specifically the game. What would happen when I interact with purchasing and playing the game. What happens to me. I don't care about what's happening in the background, what any of that what affects me specifically. And so far, I like the gameplay. Like I liked shooting things, but in comparison to other shooter games, there's so many more that does it better. And then the absolute just grinding and grinding for pointless things that pretty much don't matter, because like the point values really only matter once you hit 20, and even then they barely matter. The freaking when you're level 20, was it like 6, 28, almost 30, level 2s will be as strong as level 20s. That's ridiculous. Why is that a thing?
So that you can't just waltz into the open world and carry your best buddy through all the single-player missions.
You should be able to, because all the missions are the same. Just
Come on.
just do 2 of them.
They
a problem.
removed the point of leveling, which is getting stronger. Why would they do that?
No, it just adds a sense of progression. It matters in PvP and all the
Actually,
strikes.
it doesn't matter in PvP.
Because you
It
scale
does,
up.
though. You have to get your talents. Like
Yeah, talents matter. Levels don't.
the level is just the indicator of what gear you're privy to, which affects everything, and what level
it
of
doesn't,
talent
though.
unlocks you.
What does defense do? Tell me what actual armor defense does.
It reduces incoming damage.
No, it doesn't.
It does, dude.
No,
Okay,
I'm telling
so
you, it
I
doesn't.
wanna backtrack to a point you made that Destiny isn't doing it as well as other shooters do. It's kind of a vague statement.
All right,
I'm just
so-
curious, like, what example you mean by that? What game has a better gameplay engine than Destiny?
Yeah,
Engine? I'm not talking about engine. I'm talking about specifically gameplay. And
That's what gameplay is. Like, the actual shooting mechanics. Aiming,
Sure.
firing,
here-
reloading, like the bare bone FPS engine.
Oh, if you're talking about firing and shooting and reloading, pretty much every single first-person game
Call of
does
Duty.
exactly the same thing.
Okay.
If you're talking about like more interesting and better ones, I can definitely point at what is that freaking game called? Borderlands. There we go. That actually implements mechanics into reloading and things like that. There you go. But that's
You think Borderlands has a better gameplay engine than Destiny?
I'm not talking about engines. I'm talking strictly about gameplay.
To me,
if
that's
you're talking
the
about-
same thing. Like,
It can't be the what? Do you play the engine? You play the game. Those are 2 different things.
oh, dude, listen. All the camera movements, all the mechanics, all the physics in the game, basically the gameplay experience that you're describing, is all dictated by the engine. It's
Right.
what the game is built upon from the ground up. So let me ask you this. Do you think Halo, any of them, whichever is your favorite, is a good shooter?
Yeah.
Then explain how Destiny is not a better shooter.
All right. So when you have guns, you have set guns that you actually have, and you need to pick up ammo for those set guns. You have 3 guns. You have very basic abilities and things like that. In Halo, there's actual like inventory management where you have to actually switch out guns depending on who you're fighting, what you're fighting, how much you have in reserve, things like that to get past the level. In this, it's basically you shoot, you kill, you continue to do such, and that's it. In Halo, there's a lot more thought involved into everything you do.
Do you think Halo has more strategy than Destiny? You can't even
Yeah.
customize your gear in Halo.
That's it. Item drops, things that are actually given to you if you explore or search dead bodies or anything like that. And there's also like, let's just say you're fighting human enemies. Not the humans, the freaking swarm, whatever they're freaking called, I can't remember. They're actually generally weak against bullets. Bullets are really effective in that game, but if you're fighting aliens, they have a shield, and bullets do shit against that. You need energy weapons. And
Yeah.
that's how you actually make sure that you balance the 2 weapons that you have, and you get to pick up and remove powerful weapons that might not have enough ammo to
Hey.
something that's a bit weaker that you can get more of.
That's a primitive variation of the element damage system that's in Destiny.
The
Bungie as a studio has taken everything they've learned from Halo gameplay, from strategy, everything that you're describing. And it's been evolved into what most would consider a more polished product in the form of Destiny. The reason that Destiny gets so much flack is because, well, actually it is better than Halo. It's just had false expectations. And the fact that it didn't fulfill most people's expectations is the reason that they seemingly hate this very, very well-made game. I'm just trying to figure out why.
To be honest, I don't hate it. I really don't. The gameplay was enjoyable.
You don't appreciate it.
I guess I don't appreciate it then.
because to me, like, I'm a big Halo fan, right? I grew up playing Halo on the original Xbox. Everybody loved that game. Halo 2 LAN parties for days, right? To me, this game is Halo, except you're not a superhero. You're not Master Chief. You're just a regular guy who's a soldier. And you can go online, and you can do everything that you could do in Halo with more strategy. You can spec your character so he has certain abilities that suit your play style. You can change the type of damage you're doing with the sort of weapon you prefer. And then you can also do PvE matchmaking in the form of strikes and even raids, which is something you never could do in Halo. It's just the next gen version of Halo. I just feel like this is a new format. Like, it's actually the first of its kind on console platforms. And console gamers are expecting, well, shit, where's my $60 game? Like, this should be a complete product out of the box, which is what console gamers are used to. But it's actually, its roots stem more from the PC gaming demographic, where these people are used to playing games like World of Warcraft. That's how the game is designed. And because it's one of a kind, people don't really understand what it is and what it's doing on a PlayStation.
I understand it perfectly, and that is my problem with it. That it is designed around that model. And I can't speak to the end game because I haven't reached it. I can only speak to the early game, the leveling up, and it is fucking boring. It is awful. Like, I agree with everything you said about the gameplay being solid, the shooting mechanics, they feel great, sure, absolutely. But if you give me a great game and you make me do these boring quests, the game becomes boring itself. I'm not struggling with controls. I'm not struggling with anything gameplay-wise. I think what is there in terms of systems is great, but what you do with those systems is incredibly flawed. It is, first of all, it's been done, and it's been criticized on games that are already out, that it is too repetitive. World of Warcraft keeps updating and making changes to their game to keep it from being stale, to keep the quest system, the leveling up interesting. Destiny took those changes and said, nah, fuck it, we'll just do the old thing. That's not okay. And that is my biggest problem with Destiny, is that the leveling up is a big part of this game. We cannot ignore it. I cannot speak to the end game. If you guys think it justifies the leveling ups,
no.
Okay.
As far as I can tell, raids are a bit fun until you've played it like 10 times, and then you're just like, well...
but 10 times is a big number for raids.
Okay, what do people do in Call of Duty?
No, that's not raids.
Call of Duty is not on the list! It's gone!
I know, I'm asking a question because I'm using it for my argument. When you're done with playing single player in Call of Duty, what you do is you go online and you play multiplayer, PvP, over and over and over again, and there's your $60 value. You can do that exact thing in Destiny. And you know what? The gameplay engine in Destiny, as far as I'm concerned, is unrivaled. I've never seen a shooter that handles better than this game, because it is that refined Halo engine. It comes from Halo 2. Like, it's the best. It's just better. And all these people in the chat say, oh, I'm a Destiny fanboy, blah, blah, blah. I'm really not. I haven't played Destiny for months. I played it really hard when it came out. I haven't touched it in like 3 months. The reason I think it should be on this list is because I respect how well made this game is. And I totally see where you guys are coming from. And it's a marketing ploy, whatever. That it's an incomplete game. I agree it's an incomplete.
We have never said that. No, Chad is saying that over and over. We have never said that. We have never said our problem with the game was that it was overhyped or a marketing ploy or anything of the sort.
Okay, well then the reason I'm standing up for Destiny is because I do think it plays better than any shooter available right now. I think it's that polished of a gameplay engine. Yeah, I really don't. I think this game plays better than any Halo game ever made. And on those merits alone, it deserves a lot more respect than it's being given. But I can see that I'm the only one who has that opinion in this conversation. So I guess I'm the odd man out.
It's one is enough to keep a game on this list. Don't worry about it. Okay.
I think we should move on to other games because
Am I the only one keeping Lords of the Fallen on this list?
you're
I
probably
could take it or leave it. From what I've seen, it's not my cup of tea.
Is it good enough compared to all these other games?
I would totally defend this game if it didn't have so many technical issues. But because it does, I'm okay with it going. I have a few questions about some other games that are on this list.
okay.
And I'm okay. I'm ready to let Dark Souls go as long as I get some answers on these questions. Dragon Age Inquisition. I haven't played it. I have some concerns with this game. Who's played Dragon Age Inquisition on this call?
Oh, I have not, but I have two people who've played it immensely, and I have both of their opinions.
Okay. Question number 1. It feels like they've put so much more effort into the side quests, what is kind of mundane about the game, and the main story feels so like shoehorned, sort of.
Oops, I'm on the TGN account.
Oh,
No, Shaq and Palatine really love this game. People who played it fall in love with it. For me, the reason I didn't hop on it right away is because I'm not a big player of the original Dragon Age games, and also I was expecting this to be a next gen game, or I should say, 8th gen, current gen game. And then I'm really hesitant to play these things when they're coming out on Xbox 360. But I can see I probably made a mistake there, though this isn't really my type of game. I do recognize the polish, and just the fact that so many close friends of mine who are expert gamers, that work in gaming media, think it's so exceptional. It definitely needs to be in the top 10.
Okay.
I
compare it.
feel generally in the same way. If not in the top 10, just under.
Okay, this concern by itself would not be enough for me to think this is not a top 10 game. The thing is, I have several questions, and I guess I'm not going to get any answers out of you guys.
nothing against it.
The Flores jelly's going.
Okay. It looked like a good game.
It is.
I'm not gonna even say that it's even close to bad. I love platformers. Do I think it's top 10? Out of the selection here, probably not.
Of the selection here, probably not.
Want it on a console?
I don't think. No, it's not on. Yeah, well, Steam Big Picture is a thing. You can do that.
Yep.
Dude, forget that.
You're going to remove the Florizelli? I'm going to remove this war of mine.
Off this list. So how many do we have? Okay. I think we have 16. I don't think I miscounted.
Alright. Oh, now it gets down to the nitty gritty. Alright.
Let's talk about this war of mine. I think this game should go.
Yeah, I brought up this war of mine. I've played it this week.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good, but it's also boring as hell.
No. What are you talking about?
I just found it boring.
Oh, you think?
Yeah.
Here's where I'm coming from on this game. The media got all up in a roar about this game because it's so unique and it's so gritty and emotional. Honestly, what separates this game apart from the fact that you play a refugee? Like, you take that away from it, it's an original idea. I like it. I respect the idea. Oh, forget playing as a soldier. You're going to play as a survivor in the middle of a war in a metropolitan war zone. But apart from that, what's so unique about this game? Like, it really isn't that special.
No, it's a 2D survival. Okay,
It's the emotional story that is told and that is unique and shaped by you.
I would say the actual constant struggle to survive, like hard morality, and then there's also sort of soft morality where you see like somebody like they might need some help, somebody who's just kind of torn from the war, and they need some serious like medical condition stuff, and you might even need to get like food for them. They're going to be housed by you. Would you want to spend all of those resources to try to get that person back on their feet? There could be gameplay benefits or not, but that's something you have to think about whenever you go into such things where you're like, I would really love to help this person, but what will this cost me? Will that kill everybody? Because that those are all resources that we need to live. Like, how much do we really? How much are we putting into this? And that's the decision between actions and whatnot. Also, fighting and not fighting, trying to. It's also a fairly heavy stealth game, and also time and mechanics management. I respect the game a ton, but that's about it. All I got.
What would you remove from this list, Piff, before removing the War of Mine?
Transistor.
You are nuts. You are crazy.
Damn it, man. That hurt.
I would remove this War of Mine before Transistor.
So would I. I'd get rid of this now. Like, it's an artsy game. I get it. It's good, but it's just not exceptional.
Destiny's exceptional.
Destiny is exceptional. You guys are just too. You're too dark side, man. You're clouded by hate.
What about Far Cry?
Far Cry.
I'm clouded by cake.
I played Far Cry on PC and PS4, and I don't understand why this game's getting so much disrespect either. You want to talk about Far Cry now?
Let's talk about Far Cry.
We're moving
so
like
enthused.
really fast and not removing anything.
I know.
Alright.
I know.
Damn it!
It's all right. We're gonna come to the point where we just start cutting things off. Once we talked about all these things, I don't understand why Far Cry 4 isn't getting the same praise, because this is truly a new generation game. It's got everything and more that Far Cry 3 does, with the same quality standards that Far Cry 3 had. Far Cry 3 had performance issues too. People forget that. Like, it did not run smoothly on the PC at all.
No.
I will tell you this. I love, like, from what I've heard from everyone else and things like that, Far Cry 3 is a fantastic game, and Far Cry 4 is basically the exact same thing. The only downside between the two is the story seems a bit off. Mainly because your character's motivations and skill set when actually going into this situation. It doesn't really make sense. That's about it.
Also,
I mean,
the
that's
game
the case
just
with-
throws bad choices at you. You don't feel like you have a choice. You feel like you have to choose between two choices that are terrible. You cannot make your own.
Is that really a criticism, though? These games don't take themselves seriously. They have this character in this plot arc that they just want you to experience. It's like a movie, right? You're not actually changing the plot at all with your decisions.
It's a bad movie. No,
They're
I
not
like
playing a
Far
movie.
Cry 4. I like Far Cry 4.
Understand?
And
It's a game. You guys are putting so much weight on the story of these things. Like, what about the actual entertainment value of just playing this game?
Well, I will say this. It's at least part of something that they've put a lot of time and effort into it, and we probably should address it. In part of gameplay, which is the story and cutscenes and things like that. If they put it into the game, then we're going to criticize it. If they didn't have a story, nobody would criticize it.
annoying. And I think the open world in Far Cry became annoying faster than it did in Far Cry 3. I think it felt much fresher when it was in Far Cry 3. On Far Cry 4, like during that year, enough games have done that for that not to become mind-blowing or so. Like, Far Cry 4 was exactly what you expected it was. It didn't blow anyone's mind.
Okay, but
it
do
was
you
just
want them
that.
to reinvent the wheel? Like,
Yeah.
say you get like a super legendary game, Zelda or Mario. Let's take Mario Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want Mario Brothers 2 to be a complete contrast and not a true successor to the original Mario Bros?
A great example
Like,
was
it
last year's
was.
Mario 3D World. What they did with Mario was great.
That was a successor to 3D Land, which was basically the same thing on the DS, dude.
But
It's just a different franchise.
Okay,
It's the same franchise, but a different line of games. Like with Far Cry 3, you have an excellent game that was super well received. Do you expect them to reinvent the game and change everything so that it's hardly recognizable from the third? To me, it's like, I enjoyed the shit out of Far Cry 3. Therefore, I want an updated version of Far Cry 3 with Far Cry 4. If I want a different shooter from Ubisoft, they can make a new franchise, new IP. But with Far Cry, I want it to more or less remain the same. You know what I mean? Like how people are criticizing it because it's so similar to Far Cry 3. They didn't innovate a whole lot. They didn't add a lot of new things.
So next year, do you want to play Far Cry 3 again, like in the form of Far Cry 5? Would you be okay with that?
Not next year.
Well, 2 years from now.
Maybe a
let's
couple
say.
years from now. Yeah.
You would
I'd
totally
play-
be okay with that.
I want a different environment. Check. I want new characters. Check. I want new features, like co-op and single-player missions. Check.
You
Kind
can't
of.
do main quests. Yeah. You can't do main quests on co-op.
There's new animals. There's like a helicopter. There's a lot of new shit in Far Cry 4. I would buy Far Cry 5. There is Far Cry 4 with a new list of gameplay features, better graphics. Yeah, that's worth $60 for me, for sure.
Yeah. Looking all across this list, I think the weakest one would probably be Lethal League. Even though I've defended the crap out of that comparison to Nidhogg.
Yeah, I was just thinking that too. Piff.
No.
Yeah.
This war of mine's gotta go, man. It's gotta go. Doesn't belong there. I'm sorry.
And I'm thinking
The
this war of
same
mine.
to you with Destiny.
Yeah,
okay?
but that's the thing. I think Destiny has been on this list for way too long. It's overstayed its welcome. Here's what I'm proposing. Destiny, Lethal League, This War of Mine, Lords of the Fallen, all drop.
That seems.
I'm
fair.
not against it. I'm not against it.
Because look, if Destiny's gonna make it to the top 10, I think all three,
I
maybe
would-
Far Cry 4 I won't have such a strong argument for it, but for This War of Mine and Lethal League, I would totally put both of them above Destiny in a heartbeat.
I could put so many of these games above Destiny.
I know. So I think that's it. I think what is making it really hard for me to get rid of some of the games on this list is the fact that Destiny's still on it, and I keep looking at like. I think that's it. Because I look. Okay, yeah, This War of Mine. Maybe it doesn't deserve to be on this list. But man,
look.
if it comes down to Destiny versus This War of Mine,
Listen, I don't love Destiny. In fact, I don't even really like that game. I'm fighting for it because because I recognize how much of an accomplishment the game is. And I feel like you guys aren't really giving it the same
you gotta be
recognition.
kidding me.
You know what I'm saying? Like
I do.
it's a very well-made game. And you just gotta recognize that as a gamer. Like I haven't actually played a lot of the games on this list, but I recognize that they're great games. Like just because I don't personally like them doesn't mean they don't deserve to be in our top 10. Like as well-rounded gamers, you have to be able to recognize when something is well made, and a lot of time and effort went into it. It's a piece of art.
I totally
and you
did.
can't just
I said I agree with you on everything you said about gameplay. I still don't think it's a good game.
because personally you don't enjoy it.
Yeah,
But what about the accomplishment that you just agreed to?
4 people. This is the opinions that matter. Our
Yeah,
enjoyment,
it's
our
not
opinion.
about anybody else's.
Look,
opinion.
we
yeah.
can't make the perfect top 10 games of the year list. That is impossible.
I can't understand how somebody like Spencer can say it's not a well-made game. To me, that just means you don't know what you're talking about, dude. You probably haven't even played it. Because if you had, and you'd played FPS games previously, you'd know that it's a hell of a game, dude. It's just so polished. It's the most polished FPS you can play right now. That's why it deserves to be here. But if you guys are so, like, we can't get through this, then just drop it, because it's so clear that your personal opinions are influencing your decisions so heavily that you
Of
can't.
course they are.
To me, it's not about personal opinion.
yours should be too.
Serious.
Are we removing Destiny from the list?
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Destiny. Is Lethal League being crossed off this list?
I think so. I don't want to be like the strong hand going like yes, of course, but like that's out of all of them, I believe so.
I think we had that same realization at the same time.
You were saying cutting off Destiny, Lethal League, This War of Mine, and
Far
was
Cry
it
4.
and Far Cry 4. Wasn't that Lords of the Fallen? No.
Wait, we didn't agree to cut
Yeah,
off Right for you.
No, not
I
yet.
think that was-
Okay, Lethal League. Yes or no?
Yeah, no,
No.
no.
Angus?
Lethal League.
Yeah.
Let's see. How many games do we have left here?
2, 4, 6, 8.
16. I thought we removed a bunch of these just now.
No, we didn't. We just talked about them.
No, you gave us a
just
big
talked
fat
about
list, and we're
removing-
like, "I'm gonna remove all these. Are there any objections?" And there was no objections. Get
Far-
rid of Warmind, dude. Get rid of it. Kill it with fire.
Hang on, hang
Yeah,
on.
I
hang
would
on.
probably remove this War of Mine before
Ouch.
removing it. Like,
I would
Jeez.
that's not relevant if we're removing both.
All right.
so remove both.
Okay.
Are we removing Lethal League?
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Are we removing Lords of the Fallen?
Yes.
I think it's an interesting game. Love to actually get my hands on it to get the nitty gritty details about it, but from what I've heard and seen, it's pretty good. But there's too many technical and some gameplay downsides.
All right.
So
Did your friend explain what the gameplay downsides were? Just by
Let's
curiosity.
see. I have this written down. Lords of the Fallen. It specifically, he noted a lot about shallow character build.
So there's a lot
what-
less stats that you have on Dark Souls. You still have, I want to say, 8 stats total. Basically, it groups some of the stats in Dark Souls. So yeah, it is simpler. I wouldn't say shallow. Probably for a Souls fan, yeah.
I think he really wanted to like have spectacular, sort of like interesting builds of like more like focused in one area than another, and so on and so forth. I think the game was kind of straightforward in a lot of its increases.
There are pretty much 3 archetypes you can build. I don't know if there's a lot of interesting stuff you can do outside of that, but sure. You can make like an agility character, you can make a strength character, or you can make a faith character. Those are like the 3 big ones. And then outside of that, you can prioritize, you know, damage or defense. But yeah, okay. Yeah, I guess I agree with the customization being a bit shallow on this kind of game. Okay, Lords of the Fallen's gone.
so, ciao.
Ciao.
So, that actually means hello. So,
That also means goodbye. They use the same word for both.
oh yeah, they do. Damn it.
We haven't talked about Shovel Knight yet. Is this a top 10 for you guys?
Yeah, I feel alright. So if you liked any sort of like old Nintendo, Super Nintendo like game, it does it extremely well. Actually, somewhat like modernizes something that does complete like one-to-one like old Nintendo, Super Nintendo graphics, gameplay, stuff like that. It has plenty of nostalgia for myself, but without that, it still has a lot of really solid gameplay. If you like action games, reaction, platforming, all that stuff, it has that in bundles. It's a pretty solid game.
Soundtrack is awesome.
Is it a top 10?
This
For me, it
is.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't played this game, and everyone's trying to convince me to do it. So I should probably do it. But
You should.
apart from that, I can't really provide any valuable criticisms here because I haven't played it.
My question is, you sure have watched some trailer or some gameplay? Do you feel like playing it? If you do, you should totally play it.
Do
No,
I
I
feel
don't.
like playing what? Shovel Knight?
Shovel Knight.
I never did.
You never. What?
I never
What?
did feel like playing Shovel Knight. I don't have that nostalgia thing. For me, video games have evolved.
Yeah, okay.
I'm past the nostalgia. You know. So for me, that argument is not
Okay.
great.
No,
but
I was talking to Angus actually, but
sorry, I apologize. You guys, do you want a room for yourselves? Or?
I don't want to play this game because I'm not a big fan of retro stuff anymore.
okay. So
I feel like retro games have evolved into good-looking games, and the only reason to make a retro game now is because of lack of funding.
okay.
I don't. don't agree with that last statement, but I feel the same as Hangest.
I'm getting old, so I probably have nostalgia thing. So
No, I definitely appreciate, dude, the classic games like this. But this isn't a classic game. This is a new game.
no, this is new game. I think
So-
it does really good. It's really well done, and everything it tries to accomplish by being retro. It's really greatly done.
I do agree that most retro games try too hard to be retro, and this game, I feel like it doesn't try that hard to be a retro game. I feel
No,
like it knows
did
it is a modern game, and it uses the capabilities of modern engines to accomplish that. No, none of this would be doable on a Nintendo game.
On a NES, no, not at all.
You'd be having a Star Fox dilemma where it'd be running at like freaking 15, 20 frames a second.
Yeah.
The fact that, I was having performance issues on the PC for Far Cry, it goes back to the argument I was making about Lords of the Fallen. I find it very hard to excuse those problems.
And it launched
But,
way better than Far Cry 3, though.
Say again?
It launched way better than Far Cry 3 did.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of hard to remember that far back, but I would agree with that. Mm-hmm.
So are you taking Far Cry 4 off the list? I'm not
It's not
sure.
my decision.
Are you?
I think it is at this point.
All right.
I think you were the one keeping it in.
Oh, I'm the only one who's advocating for Far Cry 4.
I think so. If I'm wrong, please do correct me. But
No, I think everyone else is. I have a respect for it, probably more than a lot of other games on this list. But
I enjoy the game a lot.
Yeah.
But not as much as Far Cry 3. I think there's way too much stuff to do in this game, and as a result, I didn't spend as much time on it because I thought I'm never going to finish this. There's way too many quests that I don't want to do. Too many side assassination missions or hostage rescues. Look, I know what this is. I've done it on Far Cry 3. I don't want to do it again. This is side content. It's not that
boring
fun.
side quest.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I felt like Infamous might actually have a problem with. That's why I was going like I'm not quite sure about this.
That's something you also mentioned last week. Is that the content that you have, like the side quests and stuff, they're also very repetitive on Infamous. But Far Cry 4 is gone. Is that it?
All right. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hangest?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. Far Cry 4 is gone. This War of Mine, I think.
Yeah, I think this War of Mine should go.
Piff, we were the two that were...
Yeah.
But
I haven't really played it. I can't really defend it that much.
let no one ever say that I don't enjoy this War of Mine, okay? This is an awesome game.
I'm not saying it's
In
not
the
an awesome
face
game.
of this list, I have to remove this War of Mine. I have to.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Go ahead, John.
2 more games.
Oh God! From this list,
I think South Park.
yeah, same.
Yeah.
You weren't kidding when you said that this list was super unique to us. It's our list.
It is our list.
Yeah, it's our list.
Before we scrap anything else, does anybody want to speak about Hearthstone at all?
Yeah.
Oh.
We should probably do that before we start knocking off some things.
Hearthstone. Let's talk about Hearthstone.
For me, it stays.
All right.
It's
That game is legalized gambling,
What?
and it's highly addictive. It
Yes.
is successful because of dopamine levels.
Mm-hmm.
I played this game for like 30 hours straight, and then I had to force myself to uninstall it, and I haven't reinstalled it.
yeah. So
because
you
it's so fucking addicting.
It has an expansion.
no, don't say that.
It's not even my kind of game. But the reason I just told that story is because it's so well made, and it's so good at accomplishing what it's meant to do, that it has to be here. I don't agree with this game at all. I think it's a totally immoral game. I think it's a gateway drug to gambling
it's-
addiction. I'm not even kidding you.
No, you're right. It's like crack. It's
And
what's worse
it's
than
just-
crack?
It's a dangerous piece of software. I don't respect it, but it is extremely well made. And Blizzard has just gone down this route so many times. Yeah. That's where I stand on Hearthstone.
I have played more than 200 hours in Hearthstone. I'm not gonna remove this. It's too fun to not be here.
Not 30 hours straight. It's an exaggeration, obviously.
No, I haven't played 200 hours straight, of course, but I've played a lot. Gosh.
Well, so is everyone who plays this game, dude. Are you kidding me? Here's the thing. This game is marketed as being a free-to-play title. It's probably the most expensive game on this list.
Yeah.
Okay, the number of players that actually spend time in Hearthstone has spent way more than $60 on this game.
Mm-hmm.
Same with League of Legends or any other of these so-called free-to-play models that are so-called free-to-play.
Blizzard did what Blizzard does best. It took a genre that it's been done over and over. It made it feel fresh, simplified it, and made it accessible to everyone. That deserves respect.
Oh, this game is excellent, dude. It is so well made.
Yes.
I think that's
It's not
probably
for
why
everybody,
nobody actually pointed a finger at it at all, because it's... It is this. I will say this. I do not like PvP, and this is basically a PvP-only game, and I spend so much time in this game.
Mm-hmm.
That's saying something, at least to me.
Drugs.
I'll agree this game is competitive, but it's about as competitive as Blackjack is. Like, that's how much human factor actually plays a role.
Are you
The rest is
arguing
just
that it
building
shouldn't
your
be
deck.
on this list, actually? Or
No, I'm
pointing out stuff?
discussing the game.
Okay.
I'm just criticizing.
Okay.
It definitely needs to be on this list.
Right. So that
we should
stays.
so we should move on.
Bayonetta stays.
Stays.
Dragon Age Inquisition stay. Does it? It's
Of
gonna
course
be.
it does.
It's gonna be tough without any of us having played it. But sure,
Yeah,
let's say.
I don't like Dragon Age at all. Any of them.
I am gonna put a question mark. Look, this is. I'm gonna put a question mark on Infamous because I don't agree with this. Hangus does, but question mark right there. I'm gonna put a question mark. Not on Mario Kart because that's pointless. Middle Earth, Shadow of Mordor. Does anyone have any doubts? This will be a top 10.
I haven't played it, but from what I've heard, it's an excellent game.
It is an excellent game. Roundabout.
Best game that I've played in a long time.
Yeah, I feel like you guys tricked me, but we'll get into that. Shovel Knight, I'm gonna put a question mark.
Rick? What does that even mean?
You have tricked me.
Okay, now I'm going to be fair about Roundabout.
Gonna South Park, I'm gonna put a question mark right there. And I don't know. Anything else you guys want to add a question mark to? Because so far we're looking at 3 games and we have to kick 2.
3 games that need to be removed? Or
No,
2?
2 games need to be removed. I think these 3 are the top contenders to be
Are the
removed
top contenders?
from this list. Do you
No,
guys
no.
think there are other games on the top list that you would see down there?
You can't put those question marks down there and include Roundabout as a guaranteed top 10.
All right, Roundabout question
Yeah,
mark.
Roundabout should
What?
stay on it.
Sorry.
No,
I don't make the rules.
I got to get straight. I really loved Roundabout.
Let's talk about Roundabout.
Let's talk about Roundabout.
Let's
I think
talk
that
about
Right, let's do this.
because, Piff, I can totally agree with you. That was one of the best games I've played this year. It was.
You're talking about like well-crafted game, the quote-unquote polish, all of these things. This game has in spades. Everything about it is well made and fairly unique, and especially since there's a lot of things that a lot of people be like, "Are you serious? Why is this in this game?" Like real people doing cutscenes. That's usually criticized in games. They did it so well and with such their own class and charm. Like, what is your argument against it? That's what I want to know.
It's not really against it. It's against myself.
We're getting philosophical here. Go.
No, that's okay. I finished the game. I've beat the game. I've tried to do all the how do you say, all the trials.
And I feel terrible about it.
I don't really feel terrible about it. But after doing all of that, I have no reason to get back at this.
Okay, no, my complaint begins before that. So, you guys, I've played. I've went. You spoke wonders about Roundabout, so I went and bought it, and I played it this week. So I already played a little bit of it to record this thing, But this week I decided, okay, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna play this to completion.
Yeah, you've played it like a pro. Look at this.
Yeah, so this was my first time with it. Don't judge my skill. My skills are way better now. Okay.
First time, always.
You guys have said that this game has a ton of content, and now I understand because it was Piff saying it. Piff is a completionist, and Piff needs to do everything in the game. This game is 90 minutes long. And what you can do after that is redo the trials, but you're going for speed runs or you're going for perfect runs where you just try to clear the thing without hitting your car on any walls or on any obstacles. I don't want to do that. I play this game because it was funny, because every cutscene was hilarious, and because it felt fresh. It felt like a fresh concept, a revolving limousine. 1 hour and a half after that, I'm past the fact that this game is new, because that's what I've been doing for the past 90 minutes. Also, after you get past the initial shock of, oh my god, these low production cutscenes look amazing, then it just becomes a bad movie, because when you watch a bad movie and you go, this is hilarious because this movie is bad, but then that movie just you lose that initial shock of, this is funny, and now it's just bad. And also, there is not a lot of content in this game. There are 90 minutes that you can redo if you want to be a completionist.
Are you alright? Do you want to know how much time I spent on this game?
I thought that wasn't an argument, but go on.
I thought you're talking about time put into this game. You're questioning how much content is in this game. You want me to tell you?
Go on.
All right. I spent 50 hours on this game.
Okay. But what were you doing during those 50 hours, though? Were you doing exactly what I just said, which is replaying the same levels and trying to beat them on a speed run or on a no-hit run? So that sort of stuff?
There's a lot of things, actually.
Those sort of activities, or is that something that I'm missing about the game?
Are you missing anything? To be honest, I don't think you really are. I think you've seen anything, and I guess it's up to the player to actually continue playing it or not.
Yeah. I didn't want to continue.
Right.
And that says something about the game or about my personal taste, I guess.
So replayability depends on the player.
If you're a completionist and you like checking a lot of boxes by doing in-game activities, yes.
I would even say speedrunner, because this is actually a really good speedrunning game.
Yeah.
We have 4 games that we are in doubt that they should stay here or not.
Mm-hmm.
I say each one of us pick 2 games from the list
and see if there's one game that we all agree on.
That's the odd man out. All right, cool.
Okay. I can go first.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna be Shovel Knight for me.
Mm-hmm.
Which one of these, to stay or to go?
To stay.
To stay?
Oh, to stay. No, I was saying to stay.
All right, yeah. Let's go with your thing. Sure.
Okay, we can do.
To stay. So, what are you keeping? You're keeping Shovel Knight.
I'm keeping Shovel Knight. And I'm keeping Roundabout. Those are my 2 picks.
Who wants to go next?
I'm keeping South Park and Infamous.
Wow.
I already broke this. This.
Yeah, sorry. I see the appeal of Roundabout. It's just not enough for me. Sorry, it's like a one-trick pony. So I would keep Infamous and Shovel Knight.
Okay.
Or excuse me, no, Infamous and Stick of Truth, not Shovel Knight.
God damn it. It's Shovel Knight and Roundabout for me. What the hell?
Oh my god.
It's a tie then. Okay.
This is gonna be impossible. Look, between South Park, I said I prefer South Park and Infamous, but I'm okay with seeing any of these 4 games go. I'm okay. I understand.
Okay.
All right. How about if instead of 2 games, we pick 1 game to keep?
I was gonna suggest that just now. Sure.
It's really a hard choice. So okay.
South Park.
Oh my god, you're gonna do this, aren't you? I already know how this is gonna do unfold.
There's going to be a tie.
Angus is gonna pick Infamous.
No,
Freaking
I
corn
picked
chips.
South Park.
Okay.
Pick South Park? Okay.
Okay,
I pick,
Infamous is gone then, because I'm picking Roundabout.
yeah, Infamous can go.
No, wait. What are you picking?
I'm picking Shovel Knight.
Fuck me.
Yeah.
I can still play Shovel Knight till this day. And I've finished it several times.
Yeah. Same.
What do you think, Angus? I know you disagree. Do you understand?
I think the opinions would be different if you guys had played Infamous, but unfortunately, we don't have time to play everything on this list.
That is
Yeah,
true.
that's
So-
true.
Yeah, it's gonna have to go.
It's gone.
Yeah, I've just never been a part of.
Just gonna sneak that in there.
Like this. I've never done this sort of thing before, and I wasn't expecting so much personal opinion, but that's how this has gone.
Yeah, that's the agreed upon like starting, which is going to be like it's going to be personal opinion because if it was popular opinion, we've already have a list.
Yeah, this wouldn't be as interesting.
True. So Infamous, like it said, Angus picked South Park, so Infamous goes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's already gone.
We should have made a deal and protected Infamous. No.
You can't put Mario Kart down there.
Well, you put Mario Kart, what the hell?
Can't do that.
Damn it!
I avert my eyes for 1 second and this happens. What the
Damn
fuck?
it!
No!
I wasn't sneaky enough. Should have just
Damn.
deleted it. Damn it!
I mean, it's a unique cookie because
And I-
particularly Piff is in love with this game,
Mhm.
and to me, like, it's just a flash game that I could play on addicting games 10 years ago and forget about it the next day. Like, it's just not special to me. But I don't know. I if we're gonna fight that valiantly for it, then I think we all feel less passionate about Shovel Knight collectively.
I think so.
And-
What do you think, Gator?
Alright.
That's you.
It's... God damn it.
Yeah, this is one of those things where like any one of these can hit 11, and somebody's going to not feel good about it. Somebody.
Yeah,
I did warn at the start of this discussion.
yeah,
Friendships would be
friendship
ruined.
Would be torn apart.
Yeah. This,
Let's get rid of Shovel Knight then. Get rid of it.
just delete it.
Okay.
I love Shovel Knight. The only, my gosh, like I'm just trying to figure out exactly the South Park Stick of Truth. I'm sorry. I'm a gameplay person. I love the gameplay about the games, and the story is fantastic. I just didn't particularly like the gameplay. That was my thing. And-
Yeah.
Yeah, and I agree with that argument. Full-heartedly.
That's the only thing that's going like why.
I still don't
That's
think
just
that's the,
me.
I still don't think that's the
That's-
point of the game, though. That's not what the game was meant to be.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I think
but
what the
so-
game was meant to be, it does it perfectly.
It was like an extended episode of South Park, and
But
that's
if I
for
use
me-
that argument, Roundabout also does what he was meant to be. So
yeah, and so does Shovel Knight.
So was everything. It was made because it was supposed to.
Fuck it, just choose one. I'm not gonna defend anyone.
Just get rid of Shovel Knight. Just go.
I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry.
Or
But yeah.
Shovel Knight. I love it so, but if it was between that and Roundabout, I'm
Just-
sorry, Shovel Knight.
just say goodbye to Shovel Knight. Goodbye, Shovel Knight.
I will miss you,
Bye.
Shovel Knight. I will.
Gentlemen, we have reached our top 10 list.
Here we
Which
go.
one of these games do you think is number 10?
Roundabout.
Roundabout.
All of you guys are going to say Roundabout. I know this.
Sorry.
It's like you have such venom for this particular game, and I've yet to know why, other than it's not popular. Like you're
I
like
don't.
the anti-hipster,
No, it's
where
not
you're
that.
so mainstream. You hate everything that isn't.
I'm not so mainstream, dude. I'm really not.
You're the anti-hipster.
My
Look, I will
only-
agree.
My only
Give
question
my-
here was I couldn't figure out number 10. For me, it would be South Park or Roundabouts.
With regards to Roundabout, the reason I think it's number 10 is because I just don't think it's that special. It's just a one-trick pony. Like, they had this idea of a rotating limo. Great. It's funny. It's memorable to a certain extent. You know, there's not many games that are going to be a rotating limo. Maybe they'll expand it, make it a rotating school bus, right? Sell a few more copies that way. But it's just like a joke of a game. And I think they admit that it's a joke.
Yeah.
It doesn't take itself seriously. And
It's
that's
a
fine.
silly
They don't take itself
game.
seriously.
Yeah.
But are we really going to revere and put a game top 10 that doesn't take itself seriously and that is a joke?
That's for the story. Its gameplay is really good. Like, it is solid gameplay. Like,
But
if
the
you
gameplay
actually
is-
play the
How
It's a
hard
joke.
is it to make a solid revolving limousine, though?
And I,
it's the environment that you put it in, basically.
Yeah.
It's,
And that is passable polygons and not passable polygons.
it,
I'm just saying, yeah,
the
the gameplay is super solid and polished, but there's nothing there on that game that I would say, oh my god, they could totally have messed this up. It doesn't feel like, in comparison to these other games, it doesn't feel like it's a hard game to polish.
But they did. Like, there's the entire, like, every single road and route that you actually go through is exactly fit for your vehicle to go through. They didn't just slap the environment together.
Measure
like,
it in
half-handed.
centimeters.
it's clearly been designed by talented developers. I don't think we're denying that. The point I'm trying to make is that the gameplay, and I don't mean this in a bad way, is a joke. And I think in comparison to the other games that are not jokes, that actually have, you know, real time investment to make them entertaining and to add replay value and even competitive facets to them, deserve more recognition than a game that is.
It does have competitive assets to them. It has a giant, like, freaking leaderboard for time. Basically, it's a lot of people who actually like to do speedruns of games would love this game. And I can't say that to South Park.
For number 10.
Okay, so where would you put it then, Piff, if not number 10?
Forget this.
This is not my own personal
okay.
thing.
No,
so
no,
I'm
no.
not-
Piff,
Yes.
Piff. South Park is your number 10.
Yes.
Forget this. Your number 10 was Roundabout, or was it something else?
I was struggling to find out about South Park or Roundabout. One of those two.
They're both there anyway. Mine is Mario Kart.
Ooh. No,
Angus is leaving.
you
Hi,
know,
Havoc.
I would.
I was like, fuck this, I'm out.
I'm out.
I don't care. Oh man, that's funny.
if you want to put it on 10, I'm not gonna argue.
Mario Kart at 10?
Sure.
What's
me-
the reasoning for it?
For me, it's like number 2. No, not number
It's
2.
number-
3 or 4.
Why do you want to put it at number 10? And more specifically, why does it deserve to be below Roundabout?
Because I actually enjoyed 90 minutes of Roundabout. Yeah, I don't. It's a silly party game, and in the way that you say that Roundabout doesn't take it seriously, I know Mario Kart does to an extent. I am just not able to. I'm not able
Well-
to take this game seriously as a racing game.
Nintendo is very
yeah.
serious about Mario Kart.
I know.
that.
Not saying that's not the case. I just find it extremely funny that they do. Like, you guys, you guys are so funny.
Okay,
You take
so
Mario Kart seriously. Oh.
as far as racing games go, you've got the arcade kind of parody sort of games, unrealistic racing games like Mario Kart. Then do you agree that Mario Kart invented that genre then?
I don't recall it. Probably there is some other type of games that they add racing and weapons mixed.
Hold on now. The original Mario Kart was on Super Nintendo. I want to say it was like 1992.
If we're talking about like groundbreaking stuff, we should have kept on Shovel Knight, because that is basically a better version of Mario. You can't do that.
Well, no, because
I would say that's a better
Mario-
version of Mega Man, not Mario.
Mario Kart 8 is
Oh,
a
yes.
descendant of an extremely original idea that I don't think we can disagree invented a genre, a subgenre of racing.
Are we talking about this year or 1990 whatever?
We're talking about Mario Kart 8, but you also have to take into account its ancestry.
All of those games feel the same to me. I'm going to be honest right now. I really don't care for these games.
Yeah, okay. It's not your type of thing. Okay.
I know.
Well, okay, so that's a kart racing style.
Every time I play it, so I'm sure there's a deep amount of skill involved in Mario Kart. I always thought it was super random, because my fucking 3-year-old cousin could beat me on a race if he wanted to.
It's not
It has
too
a
random.
certain level of skill related.
Certainly.
It is. If like drifting,
Yeah.
you jump drifting and some techniques that are only not so amateur related. If you look at the pros playing it, you have some techniques that are really essential for you to win a game.
Yeah, they're jump drifting all the time to get the boost, and yeah, sure. I understand that.
Okay, and of course shortcuts and knowing the tracks, of course, it helps.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it will never be the last one of this list.
All right, can we at least agree on the number one? I don't think anyone's really going to argue that one.
Really?
I think we at least two people are wholeheartedly at number one for a particular game, and I'm okay with that.
You guys are for
That
Smash
is-
Bros, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm assuming both of you are going to be number one on Smash Brothers, and it's a good game. It's basically Brawl but better.
I will not be persuaded. I'm going to say this flat out. I will not be persuaded that it's not number one in this conversation.
I would say Bayonetta too.
I am pretty
Oh, okay.
sure that Smash Bros is going to be number one by the end of this conversation, and I'm totally not going to agree with it on a personal level.
Okay.
But it's good enough that I will accept that decision. So probably
least-
yes.
Yeah, put it up in the upper category. We're not. Gonna...
Yeah. Okay. So Smash Bros is not even on the same level as sure. Bayonetta is probably up there too. I'm just gonna say that right now. And Transistor, but you guys don't seem to have the same opinion.
Yeah, same thing about Roundabout. Don't even.
So I'm gonna say South Park: The Stick of Truth is probably gonna be number 10.
Okay, I'm okay.
According to the opinion of these 4 individuals, as far as a consensus goes. What do you guys think?
Okay, I'm okay with it.
That's I think that's where consensus has been more.
Okay.
Yeah.
These are fantastic games.
And-
There's nothing wrong with these. These are in the top 10 for a reason.
Yes.
And next is going to be Roundabout for me.
I'm taking a good look at the other ones. The only other ones I would even consider to be lower, and this is consideration. I know a lot of people have been saying no to this, but this is my personal opinion, so this isn't going to be law, of course. But I think Transistor and Mario Kart 8.
Lower?
People
love those things, so I can't even touch that. So yeah, Roundabout 9, sure.
I would make an argument for Mario Kart.
Okay, why is Roundabout better than Mario Kart? I just want to hear your side of the story.
No.
All right. So Mario Kart, its basic concept is that it has blank many tracks. You go around them. Whatever your skill level might be, your knowledge of the track will help you in certain means, and you get items depending on what rank you are in the track or how long you've kept an item. That's basically the concept of the game. I've played, I don't even know how many of the exact same game. I've been around since the Super Nintendo era.
Come on now. This is the first game that has the
You know
anti-gravity.
what? If you want to,
What? This is
Yeah.
the
The
first thing.
anti-gravity
This
stuff.
is the first with anti-gravity. I think they only
That's
made a
like
flaw
saying
with
this is the first Call of Duty with this new shotgun.
No, it's
No,
not.
it's not the same thing. It's not
That's
like
not, that would be equivalent to them adding a new item in Mario Kart that you haven't seen before. It's a whole
But
different
But
racing
it's
game.
the item. I feel like it's sure
Okay.
it's a part of the
Well-
gameplay, but it's not. What
Okay, it's been a while since I played.
doesn't
Let me see
make
if
a
I
different
remember all the
game.
ways
You
get
can make a
micro-
DLC with a different item.
So a micro boost in this game is a speed boost you get that does not originate from an item. There's two different boosts you can get from drifting. There's boosts you get from timing on your hops, and then there's boosts you can get from bumping into people in anti-gravity mode or other objects that do give you boosts.
Yeah.
Those all play into on a micro level and actually create a very competitive racing game because those are all skill based. The bumping
But
into
the
each other to
items
gain speed
are-
boost, basically 1/4 of the micro boost in the game is completely unique to Mario Kart 8. That alone distinguishes it from Mario Kart 7, which did have great online play, did have underwater play. There's a lot of good shit about Mario Kart 7, but Mario Kart 8 is better in every conceivable way, and it has a completely new element to the game in the form of
Alright.
the anti-gravity stuff.
What
Yeah.
about Double
Yeah.
Dash?
What about Double Dash?
I think it did everything better than this game, other than the new items and graphics.
The only thing I can really say that's bad about this game is the battle mode.
Battle mode.
Okay, battle mode is a piece of shit.
The battle mode is a piece of shit in this
argue.
game. That's why it's not my number one.
That was a
Super
colossal
dumb.
disappointment.
Jesus Christ! You just go around the same tracks, and that is no way to do battle.
As far as the double dash argument goes, I would love to have seen a double dash mode in Mario Kart 8.
Yeah.
That would have been great. But
I
as far as comparing double dash directly to Mario Kart 7 or Mario Kart 8, they're two completely different games. Like it's double dash is the black sheep in the franchise because it's the only one of its kind, and it's just so different from the others.
I just played this particular game so many times. It's a fine game, but you get tired of it after the 8th installment of this pretty close to the same game.
How low would you go with Mario Kart?
How low would you
Um,
go?
Out of the bottom three you have there, I would put it on the top.
Yeah,
For sure.
me too.
I'm gonna wreck you on Transistor. Okay. All right. Let's talk about Transistor. Transistor.
Alright. We have yet to really do that, by the way.
Yeah, I know, right? Okay, you guys see 4 skills on the bottom of Transistor, right?
Right.
I'm gonna start by saying there's 2 ways to do combat, and you don't press. It's not a switch. You can do both at the same time on any combat scenario. One of the ways. Let's skip to a combat scenario. Anytime now. That's a cutscene. Okay, this is sort of a time frozen mode. You plan your moves, you do your attacks, you let go of the trigger, and it executes everything like that. All right. There's also an action mode where you can just activate your abilities, but if you're activating them without stopping time, you're kind of vulnerable while you're doing the animation for those activities. But if you do the stoppage time mode, then all your abilities will be on cooldown for some time. So you're constantly thinking, how do I want to approach this? You see 4 abilities on the bottom. There are, I want to say 20 abilities total. Each one of these abilities that you have on the bottle, those are your 4 active. You can modify each of these 4 with 2 others, which are the slots below them. So, those are the same abilities. You got those 20. Those 20 have an active effect, a boost effect, and a passive effect, because you also have 4 passive slots. Now think of 20 abilities. Think of the number of combinations this game has. And most of them viable. Some of them extremely silly, but fun in their own way. You're not going to watch 2 gameplay sessions or walkthroughs that are exactly the same on this game. Besides, story, amazing. Voice acting, amazing. Art style, flawless. Look at this.
It's a beautiful game. I can't.
And
against it.
mechanically, you can't argue that a lot of thought went into making this system. This is the new gem system from Final Fantasy VII. That's the scale that I put it on. Do you remember the fucking slots that you put? Look, this is the next level for me. I thought that was a great system back then. It was revolutionary. It has been missed ever since Final Fantasy VII came out. This is the new thing.
Do you play it on a gamepad?
If you want to.
Do you prefer it?
Yeah.
Does it play really well on a gamepad?
Yeah. You move with the thumbstick. Each ability is assigned to one of the 4 buttons. You hit the trigger to pause. and do the same abilities with the same 4 buttons. Sure, yeah. Because you're not. It's not a strategy game. You're still always controlling the same character and doing the same abilities. You know, the controls don't change whether you're on pause mode, which kind of looks like a strategy thing, or if you're on action mode.
Yeah,
No,
this game is
it's
dope.
like a mix of them.
This game is dope. Then do you want to put it above Mario Kart? Is that what you're saying?
Oh yeah. But I have a
I'm
very
okay-
strong
I'm okay
personal
with it.
opinion about Mario Kart, which is just I don't like any of those games, and I understand that's not a reasonable argument.
I'm okay with putting it on top of Mario Kart. That didn't sound right.
Okay.
But they shouldn't be as so low on this list.
Mario
For
Kart
me-
shouldn't be so low on this list. What should be
Mario
so low
Kart
on this
and
list?
Transistor shouldn't be so low on this list.
Oh, okay, so it's Roundabout for you too? Or is it something else?
No, Roundabout is number 9, of course. For me, it's number 9.
All right.
You're killing Piff.
I'm
Piff?
sorry.
It's fine. I'm actually glad enough that this thing has actually
Piff,
gotten to.
Piff, I'm
top
sorry.
10.
I really love you, Piff. Okay?
Alright.
Oh,
Me too.
man.
I love you,
Just
Piff.
really
But
didn't go
stick with
there,
me.
but man.
I'll give you a hug afterwards.
Alright. Alright.
Sweet.
So,
Got rid of that. Number
So, number 8 for me
I think these. So Mario Kart, my opinion, I think it shouldn't even be considered. To be honest, I think I have an unreasonable argument. No, look, I seriously, I think I have an unreasonable argument against Mario Kart. I don't like that game, so it should be. It shouldn't be on this list, according to me.
Okay, that's a
So
fair
I
point.
I will leave Mario Kart up to you guys. You guys decide its fate. I'm not gonna argue against it or for it.
Oh.
For me right now on all of those games we have here,
I would
you-
put. I won't allow Transistor to go lower than Dragon Age Inquisition, Binding of Isaac,
Wow. Seriously.
Hearthstone.
For me, number
It has
number
to be
eight-
above those 3.
Hearthstone.
Look.
All right.
number 8 would be for me, or Shadow of Mordor or Hearthstone.
Hearthstone.
Wow.
Between those two, but I will put both of
It
them
really hurts for me to say
down
this.
there. Right.
All right.
If we're going by personal enjoyment, I think it's time Hearthstone went.
All right. I'm out.
And probably Shadow of Mordor
That's
Above.
a great game.
above Hearthstone.
No, I don't know about that.
Well, Hearthstone, maybe.
It's so hard for me to weigh in on Hearthstone because I don't like the game, but I know how well made it is.
That's an argument against it, I say.
No, Shagar,
Yeah.
Stan, we're not putting Transistor higher than Dragon Age Inquisition. No.
I'm cool
For
with
now.
what you have there, Globku. I need to BRB.
Okay.
Are you going to take a piss?
Super Smash Bros. Is number 8. Okay. No.
All right.
Wait, what?
Actually, just
Wait.
off the list.
No, not at all. Not at all. What the hell are you saying?
Yeah,
That-
I'm actually-
that must be
well,
the input
I was
line.
asking Hangast before you came in, since none of us played Dragon Age Inquisition, I'm trying to understand why we want it so high on the list.
because we recognize how
Oh,
well
but
made
it
it
is.
is.
So-
What do you recognize as good about Dragon Age? Well, let's be clear here.
I don't recognize at all.
You don't recognize anything. Why is it on the
I-
top 10? Shovel Knight, come
Well-
back.
It's,
Yeah, Shovel Knight, come back. I
mean,
don't
it's-
really like Dragon Age, so for me when I look at Dragon Age trailers, okay, they're really good, but when I see gameplay from the game, it's like, nah, this is boring as hell. Fuck it. And I'm really fan of RPGs.
I love Mass Effect, I'm gonna say that. So the storytelling of BioWare definitely intrigues me. But
Yeah,
it is the
and
gameplay aspect that does
the
not
gameplay
appeal to
aspect
me.
that
And before
looks
you
really
guys
fucking boring.
before you guys go on the chat saying again, you didn't play it, I said it doesn't appeal to me. Like, it doesn't look interesting for me to play. I look at that and I don't feel like that's something I would enjoy.
Yeah.
yeah, that's the reason I didn't play it. It's too nerdy for me, frankly.
Fucking
I've had-
defending
I've had
Dragon
enough
Age.
fantasy RPGs. There's just too many of them. But
All
I
right.
do recognize that this could be.
That said, I still find
I-
Mario Kart less appealing than Dragon Age, but again, I'm not gonna weigh in on Mario Kart. So
I want to question this. Which games are we actually going to try to defend? Because there's actually a lot of these that people have been very like emotional about, and then there's like other ones that are just kind of there because it's a namesake.
I don't think so. So I really enjoyed Shadow of Mordor. I really enjoyed Transistor. Binding of Isaac, I think, will be on the lower half of the list, to be honest. And I think Bayonetta. Bayonetta, Transistor, Shadow of Mordor are my three.
I will defend like a good majority of these, but Dragon Age Inquisition, Shadow of Mordor, South Park.
It's good.
Those are the ones that I'm not particularly too fond of.
South Park's number 10. We've
Yeah,
dealt with that.
yeah, we already put that. So yeah, Dragon Age Inquisition and well, I think that's the only one that nobody has actually tried to defend at all. Like,
Because we're all guessing, pretty much.
yeah,
Well, the reason I've said it should be on the top 10 is because of other people's opinions.
Yeah.
But I think I've been confused what this list is from the start, which is, you know, totally 100% our opinions at this group here. So, that being said, I'm not going to defend Dragon Age Inquisition.
Do you think it should be on this list, or should we replace it with something else? That's what the chat is asking us to do.
yeah, I would definitely say Shovel Knight. I think both. There's at least two people. There's at least two people who are going
Put Shovel
like.
Knight instead of this, please. Come
Yeah.
on.
If we're gonna put
But-
Shovel Knight, we have to go back to the infamous conversation.
Oh snap!
Oh, fuck. Yeah. Damn it! There we go with the hard questions again.
I will take it. I will definitely take it.
Dragon Age, goodbye. It was a good
I will
run. We
take it.
respect you, but we don't know you well enough.
Yeah,
Shovel
that's-
Knight or
I will take the ring to Moto.
infamous,
Mousse.
second
Mousse.
son.
Chocolate mousse.
One of these doesn't get to come to this list. And
Well-
I know. Look, I don't feel too passionate about either of them, so I don't
Okay.
care.
I feel passionate about Shovel Knight. Infamous. It looks like another Infamous game. As much as it probably will be enjoyable for just the basic playthrough, that's just on a kind of like a meh, I played a video game sort of level, not actual like, oh my gosh, I actually experienced something other than pretty lights.
At this point in the list, I'm not going to fight too hard for Infamous.
Well,
Sounds like I'm the only person that's taken it this far.
Infamous is number 11. There we go.
Alright.
Shovel Knight, welcome back.
Hi.
Does Shovel Knight deserve to be on number 9 or 10?
Ooh.
No,
Or does it deserve to be higher than that?
I think higher.
We'll put it at 8.
I wouldn't mind putting it at 8. I don't personally agree on the ranking system, but I love Shovel Knight anyway.
I would put it-
It's not like it.
I would put Shovel Knight on 9, Roundabout on 8.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Freitas?
I'm okay. I'm okay with that.
Okay.
There,
You sounded more passionate just a second ago.
if it was my personal top 10, Shovel Knight would be higher.
Yeah, same.
Number 7.
Oh boy, now we get into the nitty gritty.
For me, between Hearthstone and the Binding of Isaac. And I'm not gonna argue for Mario Kart.
Okay.
That same. I would. If I don't. Mario Kart again. I've played that game. I've played it. I think personally this would be my 7th Mario Kart I've played.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I would put the Binding of Isaac at 7.
I would probably
with that.
put Hearthstone. If I had to guess between everyone's consensus about Hearthstone, I think everyone likes the game a lot, but I'm not quite sure if the passion's there.
The passion's there if you accept the fact that you have.
I think it's between these 3. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Binding of Isaac, Mario Kart 8, or Hearthstone. These are the three.
You're
up for
just like
consideration.
sneaking Transistor closer.
Yeah. I don't know about
I
Transistor.
believe
think that's the
Transistor should
only
be
person.
higher. Should be higher than this, but
Look, Fkatos is agreeing with me. It shouldn't be on 7.
shouldn't be on 7.
All right.
All right.
Do you think Transistor is a 7, Angus?
I would put it above Binding of Isaac for sure.
Okay, so it's
Wow.
it's not up for consideration yet.
I would put here. I would put Hearthstone on number 7.
I'm okay with that.
Yep.
All right. I mean, look here.
It is a really good game, you know, but
It is.
No.
it is.
I'm gonna be 100% honest. Like, in terms of its development and how well it's made, I put it at number 2. But I don't like this game because I think it's evil. So I want to put it. At
You should ban this game from all this reality.
I'm gonna do the subtitle again. So Hearthstone drugs goes for
Numbers.
number 7.
I do not respect that game at all. I think it's evil. think
I
it's
really
bad.
like because I was a Magic the Gathering player for a lot of years, and they kind of reinvented the wheel on this one, and it's really a fun game. It's simpler and it's really appealing. So it's crack. It's drugs. Okay, number 7 it is.
Why
Fuck
is
it.
this game still playing? It's not.
I know. Dragon Age is still playing. I just realized it.
Fuck.
I put Binding of Isaac because I think we're gonna talk about this game next.
All right.
Next would be number 6. Would
Yeah.
be
I would say the Binding of Isaac.
okay.
too.
I'm okay with that.
And again, I don't think Mario Kart should be on this list, but that's up to you guys.
I'm gonna not freaking Mario Kart against freaking Binding of Isaac. I'm gonna Binding of Isaac every single time.
You can totally suggest another game for number 6. But do you think it's Mario Kart, or do you think it's something else?
If number card reaches number 6, I'm okay.
It's either that or Shadow of Mordor.
Shadow of Mordor. Okay.
I'm cool with Shadow of Mordor at 6.
Shadow of Mordor seems like a good deal for me. It was a really good game.
Let's talk about Shadow of Mordor.
All right.
He doesn't want to have Mario Kart in our top 5, man. He won't have it.
Look, Mario Kart has to go, man.
Sneaking the transistor in there. Sneaking it up there.
My
Look.
only complaint about Shadow of Mordor is that the side content, the Nemesis system, is more interesting than the story itself. That's not
Yeah.
to say that the story is bad. The story is okay. The Nemesis system is so good, though.
I'm cool with any of those bottom 3 being number 6.
I'm
Including
not
Mario
Binding of
Kart?
Isaac.
That's gone, man.
Yeah,
So
I
that's
am fine with Mario Kart being number 6 because although it is an amazing game, they did not reinvent the wheel with it. It's not so new that it deserves to be super high on this list.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
were some great games this year.
Mario Kart?
Mario
That's
Kart.
unanimous.
Mario Kart number 6. Okay.
All
There you
right.
go.
And we enter the top 5.
And now it's Middle Earth.
Yeah. Out of these selections, it would either be Transistor or Middle Earth. I'm sorry, I'm probably the only person that actually has something.
We're gonna have a Binding of Isaac versus Transistor fight, aren't we?
I think that's what that should be about, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Are we clear on
Since
what?
you're our resident Isaac
Look.
expert,
I think
how
did
what-
Hengist and Fkatos, did you play Binding of Isaac or Transistor?
I've played both.
Awesome.
No, I
Hengist?
haven't played either one.
Awesome. Hengist,
Well,
having heard what both of these games are, any questions before we move on? Like anything you need to know about these games? Any questions you have at all? That like any clarification that you need to understand what these games are and what their value is?
I know what Transistor's all about. What I am curious about is what is new about Binding of Isaac compared to the original. For the original.
Compared to the original. All right. So, if you want to comparing it to completely the last game, basically the last game was fantastic, but had one main problem. It was a flash game. So what they did with this game, they made it from scratch. And in comparison to content between the two games, for one, you can actually have more content coming, unlike the last game, which kind of hit its peak because, again, it's a Flash game. And in comparison to what it did from the original game to like the Wrath of the Lamb, which was its last expansion, it basically does that and then some.
Okay, so it basically plays better. That's the big thing.
It plays better.
No, I
Yes,
think
It
it plays
does
the
play
same.
better.
No,
It
plays exactly the same. Sorry.
No, the lag is gone. There is
There
no
was
more
lag
lag.
in the first one.
Oh God, yes. If you
Okay.
put like too many items on the floor, it would go down to like freaking
Really?
5 frames a second. Yeah,
Alright.
absolutely.
I guess I didn't know enough about the Binding of Isaac. Sure. Oh, you see that rectangular room? That is completely new. All the rooms in
Yes.
Binding of Isaac were square, and there are rectangles. There are bigger squares now. So
Yeah, there was no scrolling.
Okay, as the closest thing to a neutral party in this discussion, I would say, based on what I know about Transistor, the game is far more new and brings a lot more to the gaming industry than Binding of Isaac. I see virtually nothing about Binding Isaac that separates it from thousands of games that look like this, apart from the fact that it's just really well made.
Name one other game that does Binding of Isaac.
You know what this reminds me the most of is a classic Zelda game.
It is.
yeah.
It does
I
try to
don't-
do a lot of inspiration from that style, but you cannot say that this game is like the old Zelda games.
Right. I'm saying gameplay-wise and even art style-wise, it doesn't stand out to me. It's a lot of the same that's, an age-old format of video games. Transistor, I see a lot of Bastion in there, obviously, but Bastion itself was super unique and new. Transistor's just more new.
And
I would not say
there was a lot of disappointment surrounding Transistor because it was not like Bastion. So if you're going into this game expecting Bastion, it is completely different.
I'm
And it
speaking
is-
mostly on the part of the art style, which is a big
yeah. Art style, sure.
I think their style is a bit different, and to be honest, at a personal level, I like Transistor's art style better than Bastion.
Me too. But I understand where you can see the resemblance. Sure.
Yeah, that's where I'm
so-
coming from.
So the discussion here is: should Binding of Isaac should be number 5?
We're doing a Binding of Isaac versus Transistor, and then we'll decide if Shadow of Mordor goes for number 5.
Transistor or Binding of Isaac? Transistor, for me. I've liked it better than Binding of Isaac.
Are you defending Binding of Isaac purely because you haven't played Transistor? Do you think there's a possibility that that's the case, Piff? Or
Is it a possibility? Yes, I do need to find the nitty gritty, but I've seen a complete playthrough. Mind you, I also looked at the length of Transistor, and it was in comparison to like gameplay and like if you just want to get through the story, it's how long would that be?
you
Like
do-
4 hours?
you do have to play it twice to fully experience the thing, and like because you have so many abilities, it's not a problem at all. Because there's a new game plus essentially, so you're not exactly fighting the same enemies. You're fighting upgraded versions, and you do get more abilities on New Game Plus, which increase the number of builds you can make.
That's cool.
So you do have to play it twice, so it's at least a 10-hour game, and this is not a full price game. Neither is Binding of Isaac, and you can spend hundreds of hours on Binding of Isaac, or if you're really a completionist, or you can have, I don't know, a 20-minute run and reach the end if you're really, really lucky. The first end.
maybe the first time,
and
yeah.
then it's like, oh, this end unlocked another end, so the next time you beat it, you can go further. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most times it is somewhere around a. If you're doing it fast, it's probably somewhere around a. Around 40. If you're doing it fast.
Mm-hmm.
If you're doing it generally slow or normal pace, is about an hour and 20 minutes to go through one particular gameplay throughout all of the content that you can unlock. And that's per playthrough.
Okay.
And each playthrough is completely different because it's procedurally generated to give you completely new floors items, builds between items, which they've actually worked with in comparison to the last game, where there's item combinations that actually will work with each other now.
Okay, would you be okay with Transistor above Binding of Isaac?
From what I've seen, I would probably, before either of those, go for Shadow of Mordor. But I would say Binding of Isaac is the superior game. That's just my personal opinion, and I guess it's going to go down to that.
Okay. Alright. Shadow of Mordor for number 5. What you guys think?
Okay.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, but yeah, but it's okay for me. I wouldn't put it above Binding or Transistor.
They are so different games, and I've enjoyed both of them so differently that I'm okay with Binding of Isaac or Mordor on number 5, to be honest.
Yeah, but I think
I cannot separate those games because
they are really different. But
you play them in so different ways too, you know.
yeah, they're not nothing to do with each other. But like you said, for me, number 5 goes to Shadow of Mordor because the story on Shadow of Mordor was great, but like you said, Nemesis system blurs everything out. So,
but that's not a complaint about the story.
No, it's a complaint. It's a complaint. It's not a complaint. It's a gift for the Nemesis system because it's so well done.
Yeah.
I would put Shadow of Mordor above both of those games, and I'll tell you why. There have not been a lot of great Lord of the Rings games. There's been Battle for Middle-earth.
There's also that.
Game.
I was just saying those other games suck.
Then there's the movie games, which are crappy. Most people expected Shadow of Mordor to suck. And I give it huge bonus points because it's not just a rip-off of Assassin's Creed.
So
It surprised virtually everybody. And I think it deserves a lot of clout for that reason. It's also the first of its franchise. You know what I mean? Like, there's never been a Lord of the Rings game in this design.
I hope there isn't another.
Anytime you make a new game that isn't a sequel these days, you're going out on a risk because you don't have an installed base already.
If it's gonna come down
so
to
if it's
voting,
come down to voting, yeah, go for it.
Should we go for voting?
At this point, I don't think anybody's going to budge.
Okay.
Okay.
Vote for number 5.
All right.
Binding of Isaac.
One Binding of Isaac. Freitas.
Shadow of Mordor.
Shadow of Mordor. Freitas.
Binding of Isaac. We're talking.
Damn it! Binding of Isaac. Fuck me. Sorry, Piff.
Alright.
Had to be done.
You just to get it through with, I know.
It had to be done. Number 4.
Middle-earth.
Are we? By the way, there are 2
Middle-earth.
games on the top: Super Smash Bros. And Bayonetta 2. But that's just because I think no one's gonna put them below these 2 other games. Are we all?
I wouldn't.
We're
Let's
all
write the
agreed.
list
I think
first.
all
And then go from there.
Middle Earth, Shadow of Mordor is my votes.
I vote Transistor.
You know what? I'm going to have to go with Transistor.
So we're 2-2. Or wait.
2 again.
Okay, we're tied.
Fuck.
Fuck. Fuck.
You know what? So, since you love Transistor, you want it to be number flipping 1. I respect that. I'll switch it to Middle Earth.
Alright.
I believe it's better made than Shadow of Mordor.
If you're going for original concept, definitely Transistor. For what it brings to the gaming in terms of gameplay mechanics, in terms of freedom, in terms of everything. Fucking brilliant game. Art style, story, voice acting, so good. Transistor number 3.
Yeah, there's no discussion there.
Are we fighting for Bayonetta or Smash Bros?
I think those should be exactly where it is.
I believe it's the opposite.
Oh boy.
Here we go. Here we go.
I do believe Super Smash Bros. Wii U, it's really a great game. I have played it. I haven't finished, of course. I couldn't have the time to finish it. But-
You can't finish that game.
That doesn't.
you can-
That doesn't
You
end.
can.
Never ends.
It just takes a while.
Bayonetta 2 for me it's better than Super Smash Brothers because Super Smash Brothers it's the same concept again. It has new things. It does better than the other Smash Brothers, but it's still a Smash Brother game. For how good that is, it's still a Super Smash Brothers. And
Yeah, same arguments as Mario Kart. Same arguments as
that's-
Binding of Isaac to an extent.
That's a downside. There's only one Smash Brothers.
no, but
There's
I
only
think
one. You're gonna count PlayStation All Stars? Get out of here! Like this is the best
What?
Smash Bros. Game ever made. Smash Bros. is
that
a
is
one-of-a-kind fighting game.
No one's arguing with that.
Physics-based combos.
no, I'm not arguing with that. But I think
Okay, then you're
But-
saying
but-
it's just Smash Brothers. Well, Smash Brothers is one of a kind. Like,
It
of
is.
course, it's just Smash Brothers. But if they keep improving the formula and they keep updating it every several years, that you can't use it as a counter.
Oh yeah, I
That's
forgot.
what you did against freaking Binding of Isaac.
I forgot to add FIFA 15 to this list. I'm sorry.
Because Smash Wii U is not a remake. It's not a remake.
It's.
But
If we're talking about like remake and then expansion, that's what freaking Smash Brothers Wii U was from Brawl.
No.
Yes, it was.
Brawl does not have online play. It does, but it doesn't
It-
work.
What Smash?
Smash
the
4
Smash
has-
Smash Bros. For Wii U doesn't have online play. Look, it might as
It
well not.
does.
It might as well not have.
No,
It doesn't
no.
work.
Maybe not in Portugal. I'll agree it
Okay,
doesn't work.
no, in
but-
Portugal, yeah, they don't
You
have
had to
a-
make a fucking video for TGN Central explaining how to play Smash Bros. Online because people
That's
use
because
Wi-Fi
I'm a-
connection.
That's because I'm OCD, and if I have more than 50 MS of lag, I get pissed. But that's because I play the game
you should.
seriously.
You
Not
should.
everyone's like that. It's just
You are. You matter.
I don't know. No.
No,
All right,
but
this
the thing- the thing is,
I love that
don't have
Hangus was
nothing-
becoming the
I don't
bane
have nothing against Super Smash
of
Brothers.
an argument.
I don't have nothing against Super Smash Brothers, but I think I had more fun with Bayonetta 2 because I'm a more story-driven gamer. Although Bayonetta 2 story was kind of weird, but it's weird in Japanese. way.
Bayonetta's 2 story is an excuse for her to fight dragons and angels and stuff like that. By the way,
Yeah,
this is
but-
the funniest video, and I can't believe I haven't showed it yet. There's
can't believe
Rurikan's
it.
face on the corner.
And the fighting system is perfect. The graphics are impeccable for a Wii U game. Soundtrack. I don't even want to get started on the soundtrack because I love the soundtrack of Bayonetta. Of course, this is my personal opinion, of course, and there's boobs.
That's not. Come on.
I'm joking.
Come on.
That's for the joke, of course. No, but for me, it's a full-fledged game there.
The best spectacle fighter ever made. And if you're gonna say best Smash Bros. Ever made, sure.
It is.
I agree.
It is the Super Smash Brothers ever game.
This
Never
is the
mind.
best one of its genre.
Okay,
to this
can you
day.
play Bayonetta with your friends?
That's not an argument. What are you
No, it's
talking
not an
about?
argument because Bayonetta wasn't made to be multiplayer.
No,
and
it's a
Super
single
Smash
player
Brothers
game. You
was
can't
made
punish
to
a game for
It's
being a single
game.
player.
It's a single player game in the modern age. It's missing half of the game because it doesn't have multiplayer.
I would
Okay?
call.
There's
bullshit on
another
that.
chick.
That is
She's got
bullshit.
white hair and a red suit. I forget her name. Why couldn't you have a co-op there mode?
That is.
I don't know.
That
You
is
have to ask
There'd
Sega.
probably be a problem with game balance.
yeah.
This game is extremely tight in every single
Balance. No,
Yeah.
this is an entertaining game.
Oh,
This is the game you play
but
to have
it is entertaining because it is super refined and it feels like they tweak the value, the damage value on this guy. The game becomes broken, and it is so perfect in handling all of that. And you add another play to the mix. I can't imagine how hard that would be in this type of game. Also, like there's a dodge mechanic where if you dodge at the last second, time slows down. How the fuck is that gonna work?
You had slowdown on Max Payne 3 multiplayer, so
And that sucked.
but you had it.
That was terrible. Yeah,
It was.
But you don't want this game to suck.
If Smash Brothers wins #1, I'm totally okay.
I'm also
what
okay.
about Piff and Globko? What are your?
I'm okay with Smash winning, but I'm way
Yeah.
more passionate for Bayonetta. Yeah.
Bayonetta is a fantastic game. I loved pretty much everything about it. Smash Brothers, basically, how do I even put this? Put in even more game mechanics, which was really hard to begin with, because they already pretty much trudged through like everything they possibly could, and then they actually added more things to actually make the game more complicated, including a freaking equipment system, a coin system that actually works with its difficulty system, that like it sort of entwines in some sort of like weird way, and that's just single player, not even including in multiplayer, including with even more refined and better utilized map creation, where you can actually it was much better than Brawls, and for Bayonetta it's more of the same, which is fantastic, but Super Smash Brothers did more of the same and then better.
Okay.
They both did more of the same and then better, I would say.
Yeah.
Bayonetta 1 was also a thing.
So, I'm okay. Super Smash Brothers can win this.
Biff, your argument was for Super Smash, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I'm okay. Sure. If you want to change something, we'll take a vote on it. And then declare it final.
Yeah.
All right.
Transistor for number 1.
No.
No. For me, the list is fine like this. It's fine. Because if I'm gonna move one game, I'm gonna lose.
Yeah, there's going to be too many people's opinions entangled into all this.
Anything
just
has
talking about
changed?
my
You've been
personal-
really quiet at the end of this.
Yeah, I wouldn't change a thing.
All right.
I would say thing, because if you change, there's gonna be some game that's gonna lose, and you're really gonna be like, ah, fuck, I really love this game, and I can't blame putting it down.
We love all of these games except for Mario Kart, so yeah, we're good.
I think that's it. Yeah.
I'm
That's
surprised
it.
It's so high. All right.
That's our top 10 game of the year. Games of the year. Starting at number 10, South Park: The Secret Truth. Number 9, Shovel Knight.
Shovel Knight.
Number 8, Roundabout. Number 7, I still haven't changed that name, so Hearthstone. Heroes of Warcraft. Probably
Yeah,
a good
Heroes of
idea
Warcraft
to
would be
change
better.
the name there. Number 6, Mario Kart 8. Number 5, Binding of Isaac Rebirth. Number 4, Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor. Number 3, Transistor. Number 2, Bayonetta 2. And finally, the winner, Super Smash Bros. For Wii U.
All right.
Thank you guys. This was very enjoyable. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for all your suggestions, your points of discussion. You guys have been great on chat. Happy holidays, everyone. Have a great new year.
Year.
Bye.